And let's hope it's just the same, if not better, because a 6-goal thriller, first leg, they surely can't serve up another Michelin-starred football dish again tonight, could they? It's 3-3 from last week, Inter Milan against Barcelona, live on Talksport with former Benfica fullback Scott Minto, alongside your commentator Joe Shannon.
Thanks, Adrian. Good evening to you as the Champions League anthem rings around one of the world's most iconic footballing venues. It is part 2 of a semi-final classic, an enthralling first leg perfectly poised for the second. The stars have come out to play again in the Champions League for Inter or Barcelona, the final step on the road to Munich. And a great roar from the Inter Milan supporters. An embrace, a hug between Simone Inzaghi and Hansi Flick, the two coaches. And now, Scott Minto, we can sit back, enjoy and let the action unfold.
My goodness me, the atmosphere is just as good, if not better, than it was in Barcelona. And look, the fans haven't been happy here at the San Siro. They've not been happy with the prize tickets, and for the first 20 minutes of matches, they've kept quiet as protest. They've said they're not going to do that. The atmosphere is just absolutely brilliant, and their players and the manager will need the fans behind them for sure. It's going to be an unbelievable game. And honestly, Joe, I have no idea which way it is going to go. And I'm so excited that I have no idea what's about to happen.
3-3 on aggregate. These are the two teams. Sommer in goal for Inter, Bissek, Acerbi and Bastoni the centre-halves, Dumfries and Dimarco the wing-backs. The midfield three of Barella, Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan, with Lautaro Martinez and Thuram up front. Barcelona, with Robert Lewandowski among the substitutes tonight, have Szczesny in goal, Garcia, Kubasi, Martinez and Martin, De Jong and Pedri holding, Yamal, Olmo and Rafinha behind Ferran Torres up front. It was interesting listening to Alessandro Bastoni in the build-up of Inter Milan. He said perhaps we're not the best for individual talent, and there's so much individual talent in the Barcelona team, but we bring the best out of each other, he says. It does to some extent feel a little bit like experience against youth, at least in some cases, Scott.
Yeah, I think it can, but you're right to say that Inter have so much talent themselves. You know, none more so than up front in Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram. And Thuram showed with his finishing ability in those first 30 seconds just how good he is. Dropping off, going in behind, scoring a goal, causing problems. Martinez not at his best and came off injured. Is he 100% fit? But I think the midfield, Barcelona are in control. Inter need to have a bit more control of it tonight.
Well, if the second leg is anything like the first, we are in for something very, very special. The Champions League final awaits. Nights like this are what Inter and Barcelona fans dream of. But who will make it all the way to Munich and the greatest game in European club football? Inter get us off and underway in the iconic dark blue and black striped shirts, black shorts and black socks, playing from right to left, and Barcelona win it back up the pitch straight away. What a ball by Yamal into Ferran Torres, whose effort is deflected behind inside the first 20 seconds. I think he was in an offside position anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. Of course, Inter scored inside the first 35 seconds of the first leg last week. Barca thought they were in there even earlier.
I thought Barca were basically saying, look, whatever you can do, Inter, we can do better and quicker. Can I just say again, look, I've got to be careful, obviously, about this kid, but just his football intelligence, Lamine Yamal, the way he had that first touch and then was able to see the pass, to realise he had to play it with his second touch, in behind, and with the pace and power that Inter have, they'll be through on goal.
Both teams at the heart of their respective title races, of course, as well as Bastoni sends the ball back to Sommer. Inter 3 points behind Napoli with 3 games to go, and Barcelona 4 points ahead of Real Madrid with 4 games to play. And of course, El Clasico will be played at the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona at the weekend. We'll keep you up to date with that on the Sunday session on Talksport. Barcelona have a throw midway inside opposition territory, far side their left. It's Inter 0, Barcelona 0, 3-3 on aggregate. in the Champions League, live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a big move or planning a clear out with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, they've got a van. Garcia, formerly at Manchester City, to Yamal. Heavy ball back towards Pau Kubasi, but he made it look easy really with the close control. The skipper De Jong outside of his foot, out to the left to Martin. Back in field to De Jong again. He's about midway inside into territory, into sitting off Barcelona here, allowing them to have possession, and now they win it back, and can they counter? Lautaro Martinez in the centre circle. He's played it through the middle. Thuram looks offside. Flag stays down. He's clear on goal. He's going to go round Szczesny. No, Szczesny stands up to make a good save, and the flag, as we expected, belatedly goes up anyway. But great goalkeeping from Szczesny.
Brilliant goalkeeping, you have to say. But I don't get it when it's so clear, and that was so clear. It was at least a yard, if not more than that. There was no way was it tight. Yeah, you keep your flag down if you're not 100% sure and let the play go, but he was so clearly offside, there was no point in continuing.
Szczesny dived at his feet to make an excellent stop anyway. 0-0, 13 minutes into the second leg. They have shared 6 goals across the tie so far, level on aggregate. Forward driving through the middle is Pedri for Barcelona. He'll flick it over the top. It's angled towards the left-hand side. Martin can't get there, out-muscled by Dumfries, who is a tremendous athlete as well as a superb technical player, and plays that wing-back role probably about as well as anybody in world football at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, you need to be an athlete, but he is so much more than that. He's a really good footballer. And I'm pretty sure he will have in his mind, I've got Gerard Martin all day long if the right ball and I time the run in the right way, as we've already seen as well. And he didn't play Marcus Thuram in, didn't lay the ball back for him, but 2 or 3 more opportunities of that and Inter will be through on goal for sure.
Of course, whoever reaches the Champions League final, it will be live on Talksport, as will be the Europa League final and the Conference League final, just as you'd expect. The ball is played back to Sommer under pressure. Nearly picked that up, actually, the goalkeeper. Slight lack of concentration. His clearance is rather hurried, and they've given it away again to Rafinha. Now Pedri, 30 yards out with a wall of blue and black shirts in front of him. He's played it square to Yamal on the edge of the box from a central area with a curling shot, and that is straight at Sommer, who makes a simple gather, but he's looked nervy a couple of times, the Inter goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think he didn't realise how little time he had when the ball was played back to him, and actually did quite well rolling it with his right foot and kicking it away with his left. But again, Yamal coming inside this time, somehow able to get round one defender and get a shot on target.
Great reverse ball over the top by Lautaro Martinez, but a good starting position from Wojciech Szczesny. Beats DiMarco to it, way outside his penalty area. Barca trying to counter, but Bastoni will win it back at the second attempt. And it's so crucial, I guess, when you've got a high defensive line for your goalkeeper to push up as well. And Szczesny did it effectively enough. But here come Inter on the attack down the far side there, right. Looking to edge ahead on aggregate. 3 apiece on aggregate. 0-0 on the night in the second leg. 15 and a half minutes gone on Talksport. Thuram on the edge of the penalty area. Tries a curling shot. That's going to skew well wide. Not sure what he was thinking there. I think he might have been offside anyway.
I thought he might have been offside, but this was really, really tight. And when the ball was played, actually, I don't think he was. I think it was one of the defenders, Martin, who perhaps would have kept him onside. And actually, what he needed to do was turn and shoot first time. But once he turned and then he sort of came inside, he allowed the defender to get back, and then he's trying to whip the ball around him, and in the end, he couldn't whip it round enough.
Robert Lewandowski among those watching on from the substitutes bench tonight for Barcelona. High ball towards Thuram is headed away by Kubasi, but it'll drop down to DiMarco, who nearly played the perfect slide rule pass towards Lautaro Martinez down the middle. It was well intercepted, hammered upfield by Gerard Martin, and that'll be difficult for Ferran Torres to get to. Bastoni with a header back to Acerbi, and then Mkhitaryan with a poor crossfield ball straight to Martin, who again goes long, and a back header by Acerbi into the gloves of his goalkeeper. Slightly scrappy passage of play.
It just looks on all the time, doesn't it? And it's down to Inter to have that. They've got to get lucky once. Barca have to get lucky every single time. And it's not just luck, obviously. Could have a quality high line, but they time it well, they're in.
Bastoni reading upfield, sets up Mkhitaryan, and he's clear in the penalty area. Low ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Martinez punches the air as he slides in to turn it behind. Lautaro Martinez was waiting for it menacingly, but the defender got there first.
But again, they're getting in behind Inter. And you can see Martinez just about getting there. Would have been a first-time finish for Martinez. We know that he would have absolutely loved that. Any striker would have loved that, straight in front of goal. And they're just stretching at the last minute, aren't they? So that they're very much on the back foot, Barca.
Simone Inzaghi, he can barely stay in his technical area, just like in the first leg, in his dark suit and club tie. Inter 0, Barcelona 0, 3-3 on aggregate. Çalhanoğlu will take the corner. It'll be right-footed and in, swinging into the near post, and a thumping header clear by Martinez again.
I'm not sure I'd be wearing a shirt and tie if I were the manager. We'd need to go through about 3 shirts per half. Perspiration.
Well, he's a suave character, isn't he, Inzaghi? Hansi Flick, more of a tracksuit man. And what a tremendous record he has got at Barcelona. And looking for his second treble as a manager. Long throw by Bastoni into the penalty area, flicked on by Bissek, who has won a corner off the boot of Frenkie de Jong. And Inter having a really good spell here, 18 minutes in.
Well, they've already shown that they can hurt Barcelona with Barca's high line. Can they show they can hurt Barcelona with the set piece? They've certainly got the height for it.
Plenty forward in the blue and black shirts. Di Marco will take the corner. This one will be left-footed and out-swinging. He's taken it short to the left corner of the box, and Çalhanoğlu, who opens up and then rifles a high shot way over the top. That lands in the lower tier of seats behind the goal, but I think the referee said that took a deflection again, so a third corner in quick succession for Inter Milan.
Yeah, I think it was Frenkie de Jong who just got a bit of a touch there. I'm not quite sure that was the right idea. When you've got that height in, you want to try and manipulate the ball a little bit, but make sure you end up getting the cross in.
Well, Dumfries, such a threat from this sort of situation in the first leg, is forward again for Inter here among many. Barca with everyone back, hoisted in by Çalhanoğlu. Dumfries took a swing at it, it's cleared away. Only as far as Di Marco out on the left-hand side. He's taking on Yamal, tries to go on the outside. Yamal stands up well and wins it back in his right-back position, and now he's going to tear forward up to halfway. And he's set up Pedri. Chip crossfield ball by Pedri is a poor one. Straight back to Bissek. Inter have possession again in front of this very excitable crowd. Second leg of the semi-final of the Champions League. Inter Milan 0, Barcelona 0. They are level at 3 apiece on aggregate. We are live on Talksport, and here's Scott Minter.
Joe, 20 minutes in, I've still got no idea.
Who knows?
No, absolutely. And look, Barcelona with the great technical skill that they've got, having more than 50% possession, of course. But Inter have already shown they can hurt this Barca side. They just time those runs well.
Well, it was an epic second leg of a different kind in 2009, 2010. Of course, Inter went into that second leg at the Camp Nou in pole position. Level on aggregate this season. Thuram goes down right edge of the penalty area. Referee says, get up, get on with it. There was nothing in that challenge from Inigo Martinez.
Yeah, I'm saying get up as well. My goodness me, there might have been a slice of contacts, but not enough to win a penalty, no chance.
Good refereeing from Simon Marciniak. Here is Barella down the inside right, chips it over. Martinez and shoots, and it's parried up into the air by Szczesny, who then collects the ball high above his head. That was a wonderful piece of skill from Barella, and a fizzing volley, half volley from a tight angle. Szczesny able to deal with it.
Joe, we've not had a goal yet, but this game is just absolutely fascinating. Inter going at Barcelona in the way that they can, not sitting back.
And it's played through down the middle to Dumfries. Square to Lautaro Martinez, who scores! Inter are in front, and it's their talisman, their all-time top scorer in the European Cup, who puts them ahead in the second leg of the semi-final. What a ball by Di Marco down the middle. He split the Barcelona back line. Dumfries was clear. He unselfishly laid it square. And there was the awesome Argentine, Lautaro Martinez, who knows exactly what it means to score for Inter in the Champions League. He scores in the second leg of the semi-final. They are 1-0 up on the night, 4-3 up on aggregate, and as it stands, they are heading to Munich.
Oh, there's a long way to go before they start thinking that, but my goodness me. Again, it's just Barcelona trying to play the ball out. Look, it's a simple finish in the end for Martinez, but well done for being in the right place, right time. That's his career, that's his job. Well done to Denzel Dumfries. He's the one who's playing that assist, so another assist for him in this Champions League semi-final. But I want to mention Federico Di Marco. I mean, boy, was he taught a lesson defensively last week. He must have been thinking ahead of tonight's game, I'm going to be on the back foot. But no, he's been very much on the front foot himself. What does he do? He wins the ball and then he lays it to Dumfries. A defence-splitting pass. And in the end, it's a simple pass to Martinez and a simple finish. Well done, DiMarco.
Inter 1, Barcelona 0. 4-3 on aggregate to the Italian side. Live on Talksport. And Inter deserve it for the up-front attitude that they've shown in the last 5-10 minutes. And they picked apart Barcelona, really, the high line of Barcelona. And it will be fascinating to see the response. But don't forget, Inter were 2-0 up and 3-2 up at various points in the first leg. So there's a long way still to go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it was De Jong who was dispossessed. No one's telling him that DiMarco, and again, I want to give him so much credit, he's come off, he's playing left wing back, and yet he's come into almost central midfield to win that ball and then play that pass to Dumfries. Absolutely brilliant play from the left wing back.
Yamal drives infield beyond DiMarco this time, who sticks out a leg. Yamal trying to burst his way through into the penalty area, and goal kick given by the referee. And Yamal is not happy with the treatment that he's getting at on the San Siro pitch at the moment. It was a strong and robust challenge from DiMarco. Then Barella had a nibble as well. And Lamine Yamal trying to make the point to the referee that he's not being looked after at the moment. And it really is a key feature of the second leg, as Inter nearly give the ball away. They do eventually clear, Scott.
Yeah, we said that the referee will allow things on. I actually think it was a foul from DiMarco on Yamal, and actually had a couple of nips at him, didn't he? As well as just going into, I think it might have been Bastoni. That wasn't a foul, but I do think he could have gone down a little bit earlier, Yamal, if he wanted to, and won the free kick. But because he didn't, he was almost punished for it. But said that's the way the referee likes to ref, and they have to deal with that, Barcelona.
You are right, Bastoni left one in on him as well, didn't he? Even as the ball drifted away. They want to make their point tonight, Inter Milan.
Why wouldn't you?
And they are making their point. They're 1-0 up and 4-3 ahead on aggregate. Yamal's delivery left-footed is headed away by Bisek this time. Thuram can't bring it down. Pedri, 25 yards out. Square to Garcia. Garcia forward to Pedri. Lovely pass inside the penalty area. The angle is very tight. Pedri across goal. And it's Dani Olmo trying to poke it home. And at the second attempt, it's gone wide. And Pedri is asking for handball. Difficult to see in the first instance. Was there a handball in there, Scott?
No. I think it was a Cherby who was on the floor. He'd gone down, and look, if it did hit his arm, it wasn't in an unnatural position. And there's no way you can give it as a penalty for sure. I think there is a check going on right now.
I think you're right. The referee is telling the players to step away from him. He was motioning towards his ear for a moment there, Simon Marciniak. Pedri's delivery in towards Dani Olmo, and is there a touch off the arm of Acerbi, even a glancing blow?
Well, there might have been a glancing one, but it was the slightest one, and again, it wasn't in an unnatural position. It didn't affect the trajectory of the ball. Not a penalty for me.
And no penalty given after the VAR check. It's a goal kick to Inter, who will be delighted with the first 26 minutes. Inter 1, Barcelona 0. And Inter lead 4-3 on aggregate in the Champions League semi-final. Live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs, with the flexibility to rent for minutes or for months. PSG against Arsenal, live from in Paris tomorrow night on Talksport. Then Thursday evening, Manchester United and Tottenham in Europa League action on the network. The start of the playoffs as well, live and only on the Talksport app, as Bisek goes back to Sommer, and he'll clear long up towards Thuram on the halfway line. Sports Bar tonight once we're done, whatever the result. 03717223344. Whether we go to extra time, penalties, or whether the second leg does end in 90 minutes, but it is going Inter's way for the moment. Though you can't, of course, rule out Barcelona yet. I mentioned Hansi Flick chasing another treble. I guess it would technically be a quadruple for Barcelona if you include the Spanish Super Cup in that. Well, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, definitely. And only Pep Guardiola has done the treble with two different clubs before.
Yamal, right corner of the penalty area. He's got Garcia on the overlap again. He's being marshalled by two Inter players. Mkhitaryan and DiMarco have that job, and they both combine well to clear the ball away. And Dimarco has given it away, though, to Pedri. In the right wing position, Mkhitaryan comes across, and then Dimarco's there again, and he hammers it upfield this time. Chested down by Thuram, back to Barella. This is where they're really dangerous, Inter. Dumfries on the halfway line, floats it over the top. Lautaro Martinez looked onside. There was a touch from De Jong, who hooks it over his shoulder and away from danger. Every time they're on the transition, Inter, they look a threat, but so do Barcelona. Yamal's reverse ball towards Olmo, right edge of the penalty area. He's into the box, he takes a shot, and it's deflected behind. It was slightly wasteful in the end, given the options that he had, and he seemed to get the ball stuck underneath his feet a bit. Took a touch of Cherby. It will be a Barcelona corner. They're 1-0 down and 4-3 down on aggregate.
Well, you needed Dani Olmo playing it to Lamine Yamal, and you know that he would have been much more direct and been able to get a little bit of skill. Looked like I was getting a nosebleed there, didn't really know what to do, and in the end he got away with it, having a deflected shot. I'm not even sure it was going on target. But down the other end, Denzel Dumfries, he has to play the ball first time, and just into space. Don't try and hit the man, into space where he's running onto it. And he would have been absolutely in. Barca's so vulnerable with this high line.
The first corner of the second leg for Barcelona into the near post, and it's a simple header away from the first man, Henrik Mkhitaryan. Formerly, of course, of Manchester United, scored the winner in the Europa League final in 2017. And Barcelona take the resulting throw and they go back to the halfway line. We've nearly reached the half-hour mark on Talksport. Inter 1, Barcelona 0 on the night, and 4-3 the Serie A team ahead on aggregate. Now Lautaro Martinez has made his mark in the tie. Some wondered whether he'd be fit, left out at the weekend in the home win here against Verona.
He might have to score again.
Do you reckon? We haven't seen the last of it yet.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the best of Barca in the final third.
That could still be to come. Inter must keep their concentration, and there's a long way to go. Gerard Martin out on the left, infield to De Jong with the long sleeve lime green shirt on, forward to Pedri, 30 yards out with a rising drive, and that's miles over the bar from Pedri, who would expect to do better.
Yeah, well, we know he's a wonderful talent. He's had a wonderful season as well. But even with his technique, I think Jan Sommer and the Inter fans and players would be happy for him to shoot from there. I mean, one thing I would say, Joe, I mean, what we're watching here is football in its highest form. I'm not going to use the word purest form, but these two teams with their own styles. They're in the Champions League semi-final, and you can see why.
Pedri has played the ball to Ferran Torres, who tried to bring it under control amid two Inter defenders. It's a miscued clearance by Bissek. The Germans' right-footed effort just, I think it hit his standing foot, looped up into the air, and then it's given away to Rafinha. Low ball in towards Ferran Torres, and excellent defending by Bastoni, sliding into the near post to turn it behind for a corner.
Brilliant defending, it really is. Barella's lost the ball, and Rafinha's gone down the left. He's whipped the ball in. Ferran Torres, really good run across the near post. That was the thing to do, but Bastoni went with him every single step of the way. Brilliant defending.
Inter leading 1-0 in the second leg, and they have a 4-3 aggregate lead. A corner here to defend, which is drifted into the near post and punched away by Sommer two-handed. Some would say you could have caught that.
I will say that. And I think you would say that.
Yep. Nobody around Jan Sommer. Punched it away two-handed, but it was effective enough.
Yeah, it did the job. It's given the ball back to Barcelona, but they're in their own half now. Look, just what I wanted to say is these are two teams at the highest order of European football. I just think we should give Arsenal a bit of credit for being in the semi-final as well, against arguably the best team in Europe right now.
Pedri darting down the middle for Barcelona again. Dani Olmo can't get it under control. Denzel Dumfries on the break, can't clear. It's Gerard Martin with a cross for Barcelona. Punched away again by Sommer. Again, when you thought he might have been able to catch that, Barcelona have got it back again, seeking an equaliser on the night and in the tie. Forward by Pedri to Rafinha, who's moved into a position right of centre. Now Pedri again, about 30 yards from goal. Rafinha with a sea of Inter players in front of him, lays it square to Frenkie de Jong, left corner of the penalty area. Martin on the overlap with another drilled ball into the near post. It's hammered away by Cherby. We will be in Paris tomorrow night to see if Arsenal can turn their tie around. Only 1-0 down on aggregate going into the second leg. And you heard earlier from Mikel Arteta and Declan Rice on Talksport, both with confidence and high expectations. And who knows, Arsenal could yet make Munich. At the moment, they would end up playing into, but there's a long way to go.
Look, people talk about Arsenal being the best defensive team in Europe. Well, I would argue PSG are, but the way they swarm over teams like bees, don't give them any time to breathe at all. Their pressing is superb. But if they score the first goal in Paris, I'm telling you now, it is game on. And what we saw in the second half at Villa Park, PSG can be vulnerable.
It will be live with us tomorrow. Inter would have their say, wouldn't they, in terms of best defences in Europe? 25 clean sheets in all competitions. As they win the ball back just shy of the centre circle. It's pretty much gone to plan for Simone Inzaghi, the second leg so far, 33 minutes in.
Charlton have got 23 clean sheets in all competitions.
That's pretty good.
Just saying.
Well done, Nathan Jones. Charlton at Wickham in the playoffs. We'll have that game live for you. The first and second leg, every playoff match live on the network. Bastoni charging down the left-hand side for Inter, the underlapping centre-half, but his run is quickly halted by Martinez. And now Dani Olmo on the counter for Barcelona on the halfway line. He's caught by Di Marco. That's a free kick. And Di Marco got to be careful. He runs away pretty quickly, well aware that that's not the first late challenge he's made tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He has got to be careful. When you come up against Lamine Yamal, you cannot afford to be on a yellow card.
And Yamal skips beyond him to the dead ball line. Mkhitaryan helping Di Marco to double up. It's back to Garcia. Floats in a great cross. It's got to be turned in. It's wide. Somehow turned wide by Ferran Torres at the back post. What a brilliant ball from Eric Garcia. And the two former Manchester City players combining. It's a really poor finish in the end from Ferran Torres.
Do you know what? Great play, first of all, from Lamine Yamal. It's a wonderful cross from Eric Garcia, but it's brilliant defending from Jan Bissek. He's making sure he's big and strong and not allowing Ferran Torres to get a connection on the ball like he did, of course, with the second goal last week. So really good defending yet again from one of the centre-halves at Inter.
And Scott Minto, former Chelsea and Benfica defender, with us tonight. Live on Talksport, and it remains Inter 1, Barcelona 0. But the Inter fans will crave the comfort of an extra goal. They are 4-3 up on aggregate. Barcelona starting to dominate possession again, and Pedri's seeing a lot of the ball in particular. Garcia, right back position, plays the ball forward now to the feet of the aforementioned Pedri, the number 8. Now Yamal, who's twisting and turning away from Di Marco, caught again. And Hansi Flick, arms outstretched, now appeals to the referee. No yellow card.
Yeah, the foul
I'm
itself,
not saying there should be, but...
No, the foul by itself was not a yellow card, but referees can say that's an accumulation of tackles, so he just does need to be careful. I mean...
A massive credit to Di Marco so far.
I mean, what do you do? You can't allow him to turn and run at you, so he's doing exactly the right thing. But
on the theme of man of the match, is he man of the match up to this point for what he's had to do?
Yeah, he's up there.
When he was involved in the goal, a beautifully crafted move from Inter Milan.
Yeah.
At 10 minutes of the first half to go. In the second leg of the semi-final. Real pleasure to be able to cover both legs of this tie. Martinez has brought the ball down on the halfway line, and he's trying to wriggle away from 3 or 4 in lime green. Barcelona win it back, and now Dani Olmo charging through the middle, up the edge of the area. Here is Yamal in the box, and he screwed the shot wide on his right foot. Now, what's the referee given here? He's blown his whistle late. Not entirely sure why. Anyway, the ball stayed out from Lamine Yamal, so it's still 1-0 to Inter on the night. They're still 4-3 up on aggregate. Did he blow for the initial foul on Dani Olmo on the edge of the D? We'll find out in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, it was the Barca press, wasn't it? And then quickly counter-attacking themselves. Dani Olmo plays in Yamal, and he's just on his right foot, and he's kind of stretching again. I just want to mention great defending from Bastoni. He can't stop the shot, but what he can do is make sure that Yamal doesn't get a proper connection on it. So in the end, Jan Sommer doesn't need to do anything.
Dani Olmo had the physios on momentarily there, and in the end the goal kick is given by the referee. Barcelona can't believe it. I thought he might have pulled the play back, but Çalhanoğlu, while he's been booked for the late challenge on Dani Olmo, the play did continue with Yamal, and so it's gone wide. So I would have thought the referee would pull it back for a free kick.
Yeah, me too. Maybe he's thought he allowed it to go on. There's the opportunity, so I'm not going to bring it back. But yeah, if that's a yellow card, you would have thought he would have done.
End of the phase of play, maybe.
Yeah.
Inter 1, Barcelona 0. 4-3 up on aggregate Inter. Here is Thuram trying to smuggle it through to Barella, and now Dumfries races into the box. He tries a low cross, it's clear. Barella on the volley hits it. That's turned away by Martinez. And despite all of Barcelona's possession at times in the first half, Inter really do look a threat when they go forward.
Do you know what? It's a perfect sum up. Barca are so good on the eye to watch, and the way they play both individually and their passing skills. And yet Inter look dangerous every single time they counter-attack properly. And that ball, either through the run and the ball in behind, or just whipped around the defence, looks so dangerous.
Long throw for Dumfries, cleared away to Mkhitaryan, who struck that well. Right-footed and only just wide of Szczesny's post. Hit it early, hit it brilliantly. And it had Szczesny scrambling.
He was beaten. There's no way he's getting anywhere near that. I'm not even sure why he's dived in the end, but fortunately for him and Barcelona, the ball's gone the other side of the post. And you know what? The way Inter are playing right now, they don't look as vulnerable defensively, and yet they still look as strong going forward.
Simone Inzaghi appeals to his players to get back behind the ball as Inter win it back midway inside their own territory. Barella all the way back to Sommer, who has to race forward to clear that under the challenge of Ferran Torres. It'll loop out of play for a Barcelona throw.
My gut feeling is what I'm seeing here. If Inter can get that next goal, I'm not sure Barcelona, the way they're defending Inter, will be able to come back. But at the same time, then you can't rule out any bits of magic. And suddenly, if Yamal steps up, they were 2-0 down, of course, in the first leg and brought it back to a draw as well. They are, but they just feel a little bit more in control, Inter, than they did last week.
Yes, by this stage of the first leg, it was 2-2. Finished 3-3, and Inter have the lead in the second leg. And that all-important aggregate advantage given to them by Lautaro Martinez. The Champions League final will be live on Talksport. We've got the Arsenal game in the semi-final tomorrow night. Manchester United and Tottenham in the Europa League on Thursday. Here is Lamine Yamal. Inside right, taking on Dimarco. He's wriggled towards the dead ball line and he cuts inside and he thinks about shooting. Blocked off by the lunge of Bastoni, who just got enough on the ball. Yamal has gone down and stayed down in the box. Nothing given in terms of a penalty by the referee. Yamal back on his feet, and now Pedri trying to maraud towards the edge of the D. Lays it out to Rafinha, who's hardly been in the game really so far. They've kept the key threats quiet, Inter, up to this point. And that is partly why they lead 1-0. Charging down the middle is Thuram, and Dumfries has got the pace to trouble Martinez. Raiding down the right-hand side. Lautaro Martinez in the middle waiting for the cross, and Dumfries' delivery is blocked by Inigo Martinez. And it's an Inter throw. What a game!
Well, there's 5 minutes to go until half-time, and the players look like there's 5 minutes to go at full-time. They're giving it absolutely everything. We're just watching Lamine Yamal. Again, he's got into the box. He's got two players around him, and yet I still don't know, even watching in slow motion, how he's got past both players. Bastoni goes to ground in the box. He has to win the ball. And if Yamal was able to somehow find a way to nick it past him, that would have been a guaranteed penalty.
Dumfries' long throw, only half away, and then lashed just wide by Çalhanoğlu. Once again, Barcelona failing to deal with a long throw into the penalty area. And it's another of the midfielders, Çalhanoğlu, who had Szczesny rooted to the spot. That was so nearly 5-3 on aggregate. He actually mishit it, I think.
He's got to do better there. He's 8 yards out. It's on his left foot. We talked about set pieces. Long throws come in. They've won it. And there's no one around him. He's able to take that first time. It's a wonderful opportunity, and he knows it as well. The anguish on his face just before half-time.
Well, the better chances have gone to Inter, Scott.
Well, this is why I say Inter seem more in control. I'm not talking about in terms of possession, because Barcelona having double the amount of possession with Inter, but they just look more comfortable, less vulnerable than they did last week without the ball, and they look far more dangerous this week with it.
Mkhitaryan sets up Lautaro Martinez. Great first touch into the box. Kubasi lunged in with the challenge. Did he get to the ball? The referee initially says yes. No penalty given. He had to time that perfectly, the 18-year-old, and Simone Inzaghi is raging at the fourth official. Inter fans furious. They still lead 1-0, 4-3 on aggregate, 42nd minute of the second leg, but high drama. It'll be interesting to see that one again, Scott Minter.
I'll tell you what, VAR are looking at that right now.
They are checking it. This could be really key. Still down in the box, Lautaro Martinez.
Yes, he is. Look, we talked about the way the referee wants the game to go. He allows the flow of it. Kabasi, I mean, he's literally lunging in. He gets both, Joe, but I think, in my opinion, that he gets enough of the ball. But it's a question whether VAR thinks actually you can't come from that angle. And how many times have we seen it when a referee gets called over? Normally that means it's going to be overturned. Then there's a potential penalty check now.
VAR is checking the incident again and again. It's Pau Kubasi on Lautaro Martinez. We have seen it from a reverse angle on our monitor in the commentary position. I don't think he gets to the ball, Scott.
No, from behind it looks like he times it perfectly, but actually when you look at it from where the goal is, I don't think he gets any of the ball. And I would not be surprised, just from that one angle that we've seen, he gets called over.
Well, the referee is speaking to the VAR. Simon Marciniak is going to come across and look at the pitch side monitor. And you know what that probably means. There could be massive trouble here for Barcelona in the second leg of the semi-final. They're already 1-0 down on the night, 4-3 down on aggregate. The fourth official standing in front of Hansi Flick to make sure that he doesn't try and influence the referee's decision. He's only metres away from the pitch side monitor. And there's millimetres in the challenge from Kubasi. But does he get anything on the ball? Marciniak has made his decision. It is a penalty to Inter just before half-time.
Correct decision. The angle from where we are, it looks like he got the ball. Even the way the ball sort of went at an angle and the way that Kubasi came in. But if you look at it from that angle behind the goal, and you have to watch it a few times and really slow it down, I don't think he gets any touch on it. He actually kicks Martinez's foot, which kicks the ball, meaning going that way. So I do think it's the right decision in the end, but wow, so fine margins for sure.
Well, I think Lautaro Martinez might have to be off the pitch while the penalty's taken, having been treated. We'll see, but it will be a penalty to Inter Milan. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who has an unbelievable record from the spot. He has scored 23 of 24 penalties that he's taken for Inter in all competitions. He's only missed one. It did come this season. It hit the post. Highest of stakes. This is a pressure penalty to give Inter a 2-goal aggregate advantage just before half-time in the second leg of the semi-final. A massive moment in his footballing life. It is Hakan Çalhanoğlu against Wojciech Szczesny. Short run-up, big deep breath. Here he goes, right foot in, and he rolls it in! Szczesny goes the wrong way! Çalhanoğlu, perfect from the spot! Inter 2, Barcelona 0. Inter 5-3 up on aggregate. They can feel the Champions League final calling.
Well, it's the perfect half from Inter. I did feel at the end of last week that Barcelona looked so strong. I just feel defensively, with having Gerard Martin in there and Eric Garcia even more so. No Koundé, no Balde. It's a big, big blow. 50% of the first choice of the Barcelona back four not around, and they just look so vulnerable. And there, Kubasi, they always seem to be stretching, don't they? Last-ditch tackling, and he did it there. And that one angle shows that he didn't get the ball. The penalty made, still so much pressure on Çalhanoğlu. And yet, he shapes to go one way, Szczesny goes to his left, the ball goes to the right. What a massive moment, especially before half-time.
Well, the Inter decision-makers in the director's box couldn't bear to look, some of them. But it is 2-0 now, and 5-3 up on aggregate. And even for Barcelona, is this too much to overcome? There's a lot of discussion following the penalty. Inigo Martinez is still fuming, and Lautaro Martinez is having to be pulled away here by Marcus Thuram. Emotions running high, and the referee has got his hand to his earpiece again, Simon Marciniak. And what's he in conversation with the VAR about here, I wonder? It's 2-0 to Inter, and he's had a busy half of football, has the Polish referee. And he's having a word with Pedri, who was involved in a little bit of a head-to-head after the penalty was scored, I think. Still confusion as the game resumes, so it is 2-0 to Inter, 5-3 on aggregate. There will be a minute of added time at the end of it all, with 45 minutes still to go, but Inter in pole position. There is no question about that now. Gerard Martin infield to Rafinha, and the referee spotted something, I'm not sure what, maybe a late challenge from Pedri. They are fuming with the referee, Scott Minto. Real controversy about that moment, and they're not happy, Barcelona.
Yeah, and look, they've got to be careful. Pedri, Martinez, a couple of other players as well look like they're ready to go. They cannot afford to lose discipline and go down to 10 men. I'm sorry, the tie will be over if they do. We know one bit of brilliance and they're capable of it, and suddenly the whole of San Siro, not just the Inter players, will get nervous. But at this moment in time, it's been the dream first half. They've looked really good, really solid defensively, and they've looked really dangerous going forward.
Great noise at the San Siro. Flicked by Thuram down the middle, hacked away by Kubasi. That is the half-time whistle. Inter, 45 minutes away from another Champions League final. And there is contention, certainly in the Barcelona ranks, about the second goal. Scored from the penalty spot by Hakan Çalhanoğlu after the foul by Kubasi on Lautaro Martinez. It was checked by VAR. The referee was sent to the pitch side monitor and awarded the spot kick. Çalhanoğlu made no mistake. Certainly Lautaro Martinez made no mistake in the 21st minute when he gave into the lead after a brilliant ball through the middle from Di Marco to set up Dumfries. He steered it across, and Lautaro Martinez there to tap in. At the other end, the likes of Rafinha, Yamal, Olmo and Torres have been kept quiet so far. Inter couldn't have asked for any more. They are 2-0 up on the night, and they lead Barcelona 5-3 on aggregate.
And I can tell you this, as things stand right now, Lamine Yamal is not going to be getting Scott Minto's man of the match. Him and Rafinha need to turn up in the second half. That has been golden for Inter Milan, Scott Minto. That is exactly what they wanted. And that first goal tonight, when Olmo loses the ball in the middle of the pitch, Di Marco robs him of it, then Dumfries to Martinez, 1-0. Barcelona, what are they thinking of? They're not at home. They're not cruising against La Liga minnows who are about to get relegated. They're up against Inter Milan, who know what they're doing. They're streetwise in the Champions League. It was too easy for them to win the ball, never mind convert it into a goal. That was poor from Barcelona, brilliant from Inter Milan.
Yeah, absolutely, Aidan. Yeah, at this moment in time, Yamal doesn't get my man of the match, although there's still plenty of time in the second half. But it has been the perfect first half for Inter. We saw enough of them going forward last week to show that they can hurt this Barca defence. And in terms of the goal itself, I really do want to give Di Marco all the credit in the world. Look, he was taught a bit of a lesson, embarrassed at times last week, and yet he never gave up. He was taken off after 56 minutes. He certainly wouldn't have wanted that. At least I don't think he would have. But leading up into this game, he would have known that if he can somehow stop Lamine Yamal, then he stops almost 50% of Barcelona. Not only is he, alongside a couple of his teammates helping him out at times, done just that, but going forward, he's made the difference with what can always be a crucial first goal. He's come in off the wing, he's robbed Olmo, and he's played a perfectly weighted pass for Dumfries to just play in Martinez, who is a simple finish for him. Brilliant from the left wing back, really is.
And let's talk about the penalty, because, yeah, at first glance, you think that the ball changes direction and you think he's got the ball, but he's kicked the opponent, he's kicked Martinez's foot onto the ball, hence the injury to Martinez, hence it's definitely a penalty, but it's frankly stupid from Kubasi. And we talk about Lamine Yamal being 17 and how brilliant he is and what a career he's going to have. Kubasi's 18, okay, so he's got a brilliant career ahead of him. But that, frankly, was a stupid challenge to make.
Yeah, but I hear you, and I can't necessarily disagree with you, but that's the way that Hansi Flick wants his Barcelona side to play, and it puts so much pressure on the defenders. Look, you had a laugh when I compared it with Ange Postecoglou, but in terms of the high line, they're being asked to do the same thing. I wouldn't want to be defending in that sort of way. It's putting so much pressure on any defender, no matter how experienced you are. And you've got a youngster who's still a teenager, who's playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he's almost having to make last-ditch tackles all the time because they're just so open, and Inter are exploiting them almost every single time. He's felt last-ditch. Martinez had just put his left foot back to strike the ball. He's inside the box. There's no guarantees, of course, that he would have scored. But Kabasi thinks that he has to make some kind of challenge. And you're right, from behind, I certainly thought he got the ball with the way the ball kind of went after it. But he kicked Martinez's foot, which then meant the ball went that way. Last-ditch tackling, that for me goes down to the coach. It's such a difficult way to play, and it puts so much pressure on defenders, especially inexperienced ones.
OK, so, I mean, Hansi Flick is basically Barcelona's answer to Ange Postecoglou. What's German for it's who we are, mate? I mean, surely, not just him, actually, he has to realise and do something. Surely the players, mid-game, have to realise this clearly isn't working. We could get to half-time more than 1-0 down, and indeed they have got to half-time 2-0 down. Surely they should have realised, after 20-25 minutes, halfway through the first half, we can't carry on doing this.
It's who they are, mate. It's the way they play. You know, and Barcelona, more than any the club in the world, they're more than a club. Més que un club. You know, that's their philosophy. And Hansi Flick has come in. OK, he's obviously not from Catalonia, but this is the way he wants his players to play. And, you know, it's kind of live by the sword, die by the sword. And to be fair to them, that they're still on target, or on target might not be quite the right phrase, but a triple or a quadruple. So playing the way they're playing, but Inter have been superb. Let's not forget, going into last week's game, they'd lost 3 games in all competitions, knocked out the Coppa Italia semi-final against their rivals Milan, and lost back-to-back league games as well. Everyone said they're tired physically, mentally, they're too old, they're not going to be able to handle this Barcelona side. Boy, have they stepped up, and they've been absolutely superb, not just last week, but even more so tonight.
Well, Inter are 2-0 up live on Talksport, 5-3 up on aggregate, and the fans at the San Siro online right now booking hotels in Munich for the end of May. We've got the second half coming up live on Talksport. You're listening to the Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs with the flexibility to rent for minutes or months.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5+ acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Win a once-in-a-lifetime trip to watch the Champions League final live. Go to Talksport.com/win for your chance to embark on the ultimate odyssey of football ecstasy. With 2 tickets to the Champions League final live at the iconic Munich Football Arena, Germany, including flights, accommodation, and an uber-massive $5,000 in your hand.
How about that?
Enter online now at Talksport.com/win. Terms and conditions apply. Achtung, baby.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
From the underworld of Guy Ritchie, Mobland.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
The Paramount Plus original series.
We shake the right hands, break the wrong ones.
Right now, I am in first gear. Would you like to see me shift to 6?
Starring Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren.
We've got everyone where we want them.
Mobland. Stream exclusively on Paramount Plus. T's and C's apply. Subscription required. 18+.
Hi guys, it's Reece and Paul from Fat Lads Competitions.
That's fat with a PH, son.
Every single week we give away cash, cars, luxury watches and tech for as little as 5p a ticket. Here at Fat Lads.
That's fat with a PH.
With weekly free competitions that you can enter for absolutely nothing. And we've given away over £3 million in prizes and have over 3,500 5-star Trustpilot reviews. So go to fatlads.com today.
That's fat with a PH.
Or download the Fat Lads Competitions app. That's fat with a PH. Are you happy now, Dad?
I am, thank you.
Over 18s only. Legal stuff applies.
Football is full of big moments.
Penalty!
The near misses.
Goal!
The last-minute winners.
It's an absolute screamer!
Put yourself at the heart of the action with Betfred. Check out our huge range of football markets, daily offers and price boosts in shops and online. Love football? Betfred. 18+ gambleaware.org.
When you're taking part in Race for Life, nothing feels better than crossing the finish line. because it's when every penny raised begins to fund the vital work of Cancer Research UK. Just like retirement, where it's not your finish line, it's just the beginning. Retirement savings and income from Standard Life. Proud partner of Cancer Research UK's Race for Life. Phoenix Life Limited trading as Standard Life. For full details, visit standardlife.co.uk.
From Jill Scott's football coach giving up his weeknights to train her, to giving her tactics that will last a career. From making a young girl believe she can, to a debut. From playing for her country, to winning the big one on home soil, to...
Jill Scott was today made an MBE.
A little support can change the game. Win the chance to meet Jill, plus daily football match tickets, Cadbury game-changing wins. Grab a pack to enter.
T's and C's apply. UK and ROI 18+. Visit gamechanging.cadbury.co.uk to enter and for full T's and C's and price details. MPN for ROI.
At GrosvenorCasinos.com, we know casino is more than a game. It's a feeling. Every deal of the cards, every turn of the roulette wheel, every spin of the slots, and every swipe of our app. You can feel the love every time you play. Experience over half a century of premium casino expertise right at your fingertips. Download the app or play online. GrosvenorCasinos.com, the home of the real casino. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whether you're on holiday, at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that's just right for you.
On 1089 and 1053 medium wave, on DAB, online and on your smart speaker.
Oh, what a finish!
The Champions League live on Talksport.
Yeah, Champions League live, and second half is coming up very shortly on TalkSport. Let's find out the halftime odds on TalkSport with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5+ acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Well, into lead 2-0 against Barcelona at half-time. The Italians are 11-2 on to win. The draw in 90 minutes is 11-2. Barcelona to turn it around and win in normal time 12-1. Lamine Yamal to score from outside the box is now 14-1. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. GambleAware.org.
Playoffs, the most fantastic footballing invention known to man.
Radoni! That's the playoffs for Coventry City!
And everyone's bought into it together, so if we stick together, we've got a chance.
We finished the third best team in the division.
Right footed, sends it into the top corner. It just had to be, didn't it? Gustavo Harbour.
There's not a doom and gloom about me, and there's not a doom and gloom about the coaches.
This is what the playoffs are all about.
Bristol City have reached the Championship playoffs. For Isidore, trying to spin and turn it to the area. He's done just that, and he's found the net.
And Orient into the playoffs. No team will want to face them. Huddersfield 1, Leyton Orient 4.
No one expected us to be there, so we don't have nothing to lose, and I'm glad that we need days like this for our fans to come to big stadiums and important games and play under pressure.
Minutes away, a minute or so away from celebrations, but it's going to be the playoffs for Walsall. Finished 2-0, Walsall 1.
The tears at the end, the mutual tears, tears of elation and tears of deflation.
Yeah, it's playoff time, end of season. We've got it all live and exclusive on TalkSport. Scottish Premiership playoff right now in the quarter-final. They're in the second half. Partick 0, Ayr United. And now they've got to wait for the Scottish Premiership to finish for the other game to be concluded. Scottish Championship playoff semi-finals. Queen of the South 0, Cove Rangers 0. Airdrie 3 up at Stenhousemuir. Airdrie looking like they're going to stay up. Scottish League 1 playoff semi-finals. Edinburgh City 0, East 5-0. And Elgin 2, Annan Athletic 4. That's before the hour is up in that. But let's focus on the EFL playoffs. And I know Scott Minto, very interested in the EFL playoffs, very interested in the League One playoffs, because Charlton Athletic are in the playoffs. This is a club that's very close to your heart. It's where you started. It's where you made your name. And you're still very much in love with that club. They've got Wycombe Wanderers, who didn't end the season particularly well. So Charlton may be confident. They went there and battered them recently.
They did, Aid. It's very much in my heart. I was at the Valley today as well. It's a club that I do love and shouldn't be in the third tier of English football. But there's been a few teams that we've been talking about that, and clubs that we've been saying over the last few years. I mean, the job that Nathan Jones has done really from just before Christmas onwards, the second half of the season has been nothing short of sensational. It really has. Up there with the very best points accumulation of all 4 divisions. But now it's the playoffs, and the playoffs do not care about who was ahead of who. And as you say, Charlton went to Wycombe, won 4-0 just a couple of weeks ago. Wycombe have lost the last 3 games, Charlton being one of them. Charlton bounced back after that defeat against Wrexham, beating Burton 3-1. The odds would probably suggest that Charlton would go through, but I've got a certain Joe Shannon alongside me here, as you well know, is a Wycombe supporter. So I don't know if we're working together on the game, but I'm going to be there for the second leg at the Valley.
Are you confident, Joe?
I'm not that confident, but you never know in playoff football, and I'm never not going to back the club. The one thing that the playoffs have always told me is that there is a great deal of unpredictability. That's what makes them great, and even if you do finish the season poorly, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Even if you finish the season absolutely flying, that doesn't necessarily mean anything either. Sometimes if you've got momentum going into the playoffs as that team that maybe sneaks in, maybe that's something different. Maybe Leyton Orient in League One will feel that. But look, it's 2 knockout games effectively, isn't it? So I'm always looking forward to them. I'll be there on Sunday, and I'm very excited for it.
Well, I was at Huddersfield watching Leyton Orient on Saturday. They were sensationally good, played great attacking football. They've won 6 in a row. Richie Wellens is streetwise at this level as well. And I would actually back Leyton Orient if I had to put my money on one team. So it's a big EastEnders duff moment for you.
How dare you.
Leyton Orient, but they faced Stockport County, who've been brilliant all season as well, despite the fact they lost their top scorer halfway through the season. I think the League One playoffs are absolutely fantastic. In terms of the Championship, Scott Minto, Bristol City, Sheffield United, Coventry City, Sunderland. I think we all thought Sunderland, knowing they're in the playoffs for a long time, might actually be favourites. Sheffield United might be deflated, but Sunderland could just keep losing games.
Yeah, they do. It's been tough for them, mate, because they've known for a long time, really, that they are going to be in the playoffs, and yet they're not going to go automatically up. And people can turn around and say, well, the team finishing 3rd is disappointed. Can they pick themselves up? But Sheffield United and Chrissy Wilder's had enough time to do that. So I actually think, Bristol City, got in there in the last game of the season, but I think Sheffield United will have enough. I don't think they'll be down mentally. I think physically they'll be up for it and they'll be motivated. And the job that Frank Lampard has done has been nothing short of sensational. I think it's going to be a Sheffield United Coventry City final.
You mentioned Bristol Rovers there. Darryl Clark has returned there as manager this evening. Watford earlier in the Championship sacked Tom Cleverley. A bit of EFL news for you. I'm told the German for "It's Who We Are, Mate" is "Das ist wer wir sind, Kumpel." Hansi Flick surely needed to find out at half-time what the Spanish is for "You made a right mess of the first half, so you lot get back out there and sort it out second half yourselves." Inter 2 up tonight, 5-3 up on aggregate, and Barcelona need some magic, and they have players who can make magic. Live on Talksport, San Siro second half, Scott Minto, Joe Shannon.
Well, Scott, you probably know what the Spanish for that actually is, to be honest.
Hicieron muy mal en el primer tiempo, tiene que ser mucho mejor en el segundo tiempo.
Well, there you go.
Something like that.
Should we do the next 45 minutes like that? It's 2-0 to Inter on the night and 5-3 up on aggregate. And for Hansi Flick and Barcelona, the challenge is enormous now. Here at the cauldron of football that is the San Siro. A jubilant San Siro for the moment. Do you give Barcelona much hope of coming back?
Look, do I think that Inter are going to go through? Yes. But do I say that Barca are out? Absolutely not. It just takes one moment of brilliance. And don't forget, they were 2-0 down in the first leg and came back to get a draw. There's every chance still they could, but they have to step it up. And they can't be as runnable defensively as well.
The second half is underway. Barcelona playing from right to left, all in lime green. And Inter with that 2-0 on the night lead. 5-3 aggregate advantage, playing from left to right in the familiar, the iconic blue and black striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. Heading to Munich are Inter Milan, unless Barcelona can produce something special here in the second half. Lamine Yamal from the edge of the box, had it taken off his toes, it's come back towards Yamal, and in a microcosm of really what has happened for him so far in the second leg, Inter managed to get the ball away upfield and Barcelona have to go backwards. No changes at half-time. Inter, Sommer in goal, Bissek, Acerbi and Bastoni, Dumfries, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan and Di Marco, Lautaro Martinez and Thuram. And for Barcelona, Szczesny, Garcia, Kubasi, Inigo Martinez, and on the ball now Gerard Martin in front of the Inter head coach Simone Inzaghi. De Jong, Dani Olmo and Pedri, Yamal, Rafinha and Ferran Torres. Lewandowski among the substitutes. Cross from Martin is cleared away from the centre of the penalty area by Acerbi and hacked further clear by Marcus Thuram, whose dad, Lilian, of course, had a great record in European competition. And on the far side, the right, is Yamal, shuffling in field and looking to play the ball into the feet of Garcia. Back out wide to Yamal, and now he's isolated Bastoni in a one-on-one. Darts beyond him into the box, chips in the cross. It's over the head of Rafinha. It will come to Martin at the back post. He delivers high left-footed. That's not such a good ball. And DiMarco able to thunder the ball clear on the volley up into the dark night sky. 2-0 to Inter on the night, 5-3 up on aggregate, and they win a free kick 2 minutes into the second half. You're listening to Talksport. This for the right to face Arsenal or PSG in the final. The second leg live from Paris tomorrow night. The Sports Bar takes your calls once we're done this evening. And alongside me is Scott Minton.
Yeah, look, if Barcelona are even to get it to extra time, then Lamine Yamal needs to get in the game. He hasn't been in the game. I can't give enough credit to Federico DiMarco after what happened in the first leg. But he just skinned him there down the outside, and it was a brilliant cross. Rafinha came in because he didn't believe he could get it to the far post. He did, but he needs to get more on the ball.
Here's a chance for Dani Olmo racing towards the corner of the penalty area, cleared away by Bisek for Inter Milan. And now Barella drives the ball upfield. It's an easy header for Kubasi, and Barcelona have had almost all the possession in the opening minutes of the second half, but Thuram has won it off De Jong, and here they come on the break yet again. Inter, it's 3 against 3, and Thuram has run 30 yards. He's found Lautaro Martinez with his back to goal. He wasn't really in the right position to receive the pass, lost his balance, and Barcelona in the end are able to win it back. Forward now comes Dani Olmo, out to the inside right, and Yamal back towards Dani Olmo. That's a poor pass, and it's swept away from danger by Denzel Dumfries. Barcelona heading out to the semi-final stage again, unless they can produce a great comeback here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a poor pass from Yamal, but the more it can be a bit more like a tennis match, you feel that Inter will be losing control, and Barca would want that with the individual brilliance they've got.
Yamal with a nice ball towards the edge of the box, and a weird flick by Barella trying to knock it back towards Acerbi. They got away with it big time there, Inter, and now DiMarco is on the counter, racing up over the halfway line, hugging that left-hand touchline on the far side. He eventually goes backwards to Barella, who rolls it all the way back to goalkeeper in orange Jan Sommer. No need for Inter to force the issue here with that 2-goal aggregate lead. And Thursday night will bring you the Europa League semis. Manchester United and Tottenham both in action, of course, on the network. Dani Olmo has picked up Yamal in the area. The angle's tight. He's gone down under the challenge of Bastoni. Goal kick given by the referee. Yamal, arms outstretched, looks towards Simon Marciniak. Will there be a VAR check? Just as there was for the Inter penalty that was given in the first half.
Well, look, Bastoni's got his arm on his shoulder. The ball's bouncing up, he's trying to get it down. It's not enough for me. It's gone to ground without there being enough of a push from the big centre-half. Certainly there's a big difference in terms of height and weight as well, but no, it's not a penalty for me.
And no penalty is certainly the decision. Inter's second semi-final in 3 years. Of course, they were beaten by Manchester City in the final in 2023. Can they go one better this season? Barca's first semi-final since 2019. Yamal in the right wing position. DiMarco gets back at it to win it back, and DiMarco has undoubtedly won that battle so far. Bastoni's long ball over the top, and Thuram has held it up brilliantly in front of Inigo Martinez, who slid in with a poorly timed challenge, and it's a yellow card and a free kick to Inter in the right wing position. Again, Hansi Flick, he's really not happy with the match officials, but that did look a foul.
Yeah, it's just... Look, I can't criticise Hansi Flick. I mean, who can when they're in this position? They're on the way, although they're not necessarily going to win La Liga. You know, they still could get the treble or quadruple. And yet that high line is... No defender really wants to play that. You know, you can understand, and you've got to think of the bigger picture. Condense it, the players that they've got. They've done so well at this part of the season, but there's no doubt about it that Inter have the players to exploit it with Martinez, but in particular Thuram and Denzel Dumfries.
And if Inter score again, surely that is tie over Free kick, right wing position, whipped in by Çalhanoğlu. Downward header, in off the post of Acerbi. But I think it's been ruled out. And I think Acerbi knew it pretty early on. Diving header from the centre half, but he's miles offside. And it'll stay 2-0 to Inter and 5-3 up on aggregate.
That is actually a really good line from Barcelona. They're holding it. Acerbi's gone beyond it. No, that's not luck in that. That's really good defending. But you're right, 3-0, I'm sorry, even this Barca side, with Lamine Yamal in it, not coming back.
Barcelona, who've lost just one of their last 30 in all competitions. If they are to score and get themselves back into the tie, get themselves level, that would have produced at least 10 goals over the course of the tie, which doesn't happen very often over two-legged Champions League semi-finals. The ball is with Pedri, about 30 yards from goal, and lots of Inter Milan players in blue and black behind the ball. De Jong has steered it left to Gerard Martin. Infield to Pedri again, maybe 20-25 yards out, but no space to shoot. Goes crossfield to Yamal, whose touch infield isn't a good one. Mkhitaryan is there to win it back and dart forward. Tactically, they've got it absolutely perfect so far, Inter Milan.
Yes, they have. And individually, as well as collectively, they're winning their battles. So it's all very well for a manager to have a plan.
High ball over the top, and Thuram could be clear, and Nigo Martinez is there to send it back to Szczesny. Nearly through there, Thuram.
Yeah, again, it's all very well for a manager to have the plan, and it's so important that he does have a plan, but it's down to the players to execute it, again, both individually and collectively. And that's what Inter have done up until now.
Dani Olmo to Pedri, forward of the centre circle, the number 8, trying to twist away from Çalhanoğlu. Yamal, right-hand corner of the penalty area, onto the left foot, weaving it into the path of Pedri, who tried a straight ball to Ferran Torres. He knocks it wide to Gerard Martin, who pulls it back. It's come off Bisek. Martin with a high cross this time, and met on the volley, and turned in! Barcelona are right back in the second leg, and right back in the tie as well. What a ball in from Gerard Martin, and met on the volley by Eric Garcia, an unlikely goal scorer. But we have a second leg and a semi-final on our hands again now. Inter 2, Barcelona 1, 5-4 to Inter on aggregate.
This tie just keeps on giving. And who would have thought Eric Garcia, one, he'd be there in the first place, and then two, he'd have the technique to do that. That's a brilliant side-foot volley, giving Jan Sommer no chance whatsoever. Honestly, if I'm giving you 6 players in the Barca team, is he in no 6?
He's probably towards the back end of everybody.
But he finished it like he's a centre forward, a Ferran Torres or a Rafinha, or even a Lamine Yamal as well. This is just brilliant.
This semi-final tie has been a goal of the season competition at times. And Barcelona are within 1 goal of drawing level on aggregate. We're only 54 minutes in. Live on Talksport in the Champions League, with Enterprise Rent-A-Car making a big move or planning a clear out with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, they've got a van. So Inter's lead is now a slender one, and they are going to make a substitution, and it is Di Marco going off to be replaced by Carlos Augusto. This was the change that they made in the first leg, as Di Marco takes the applause, and on comes the Brazilian, who can also play as a left-sided centre-half. Inter 2, Barcelona 1. Inter Milan lead 5-4 on aggregate in an incredible semi-final, which is now far from over.
Do you know what? It's another one I don't really get. I think Di Marco has been brilliant.
Well, Thuram's laid it off to the edge of the box, and Szczesny parries away the snapshot from the on-rushing Nicolo Barella. It's a corner.
I thought that was going to be Carlos Augusto there with the shot, and I don't really get it, and he puts it in the top corner. Brilliant technique there from Barella. A good save, one he should be making, Szczesny, but one thing Barcelona cannot afford to do now is concede in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Inter Milan 5-4 ahead on aggregate. Only 3 UEFA Champions League semi-finals have seen 10 or more goals scored on aggregate. As the corner's whipped in by Çalhanoğlu, Acerbi went for it, headed away. Now Yamal on the break for Barcelona, and they're tearing forward here. Gerard Martin with a good touch into Inter territory. It's 3 against 2. It's Pedri. Garcia to the right. Martin on it. Across to Garcia. What a save!
save! What a stop by Sommer! How has he got to that? It was nearly two for Garcia. Astonishing save. Now Martin again crosses into the penalty area. That's blocked. In a semi-final that over two legs has seen some extraordinary goals. Well, that's an extraordinary save.
Joe, if ever there's a goal that's a save that's worth like a 30-yard goal, it was that. I mean, it's not exactly like a Gordon Banks, but it's that kind of athleticism. He has no right to save it. And do you know what? It would have been a brilliant counter-attack goal, brilliant team goal. I'm thinking as it's 3-on-2, right, shoot, it's passed. That's got to score. And what a save from Sommer. My goodness me, if they are to get through, that first of all they should go to the goalkeeper and say thank you very much, but a long way to go.
Martin crosses again, all the way to the back post, and Garcia was forward again. It's headed away by Bastoni, Inter hanging on as another deep cross drifts wide. Inter 2, Barcelona 1, 5-4 to Inter on aggregate, live on Talksport. There's still well over half an hour to go. Scott Minto, what a save by Sommer.
Do you know what? I mean, this tie is ridiculous. Just keep on saying it, whether it's attacking a save like that. I mean, look, it's a brilliant save, but if you really analyse it, he has to give him no chance whatsoever. He's over one side of the goal, he's got really quick feet, and he makes himself as big as possible. But the goal is still big enough where Eric Garcia on his left foot, he's the right back, remember, he doesn't really... I think if that's on his right foot, he sides-foots it and gives Sommer no chance whatsoever. It's a brilliant save, but he should be scoring.
Eric Garcia should be on a hat-trick. Barcelona still behind on aggregate by the odd goal in 9. The 3 Champions League semi-finals that have seen 10 or more goals scored on aggregate. Juve 6, Monaco 4 in the 90s. Liverpool 7, Roma 6 in 2017-18. As Yamal darts forward down the right-hand side, blocked off by Bastoni. Free kick's been given by the referee in a dangerous position here. And the other semi-final to see 10 or more goals on aggregate. Real Madrid 6, Man City 5 in the 21-22 season. Inter 5-4 up on aggregate, but they're going to have to defend a free kick in a dangerous area.
Do you know what, Joe? I mean, look, I'm not his agent. I wish I was. But the reason I keep on going on about him is that I have total appreciation of the way he plays. Forget his age, and we'll add his age on a little bit later. But the way he runs with the ball, with pace.
As Rafinha drills in the free kick, it's not a good delivery. Hit Ferran Torres and deflected away. And Rafinha will win it back, live with the edge of the penalty area. In the 60th minute, in swinging cross again is poor. Not seen a lot of Rafinha in the second leg so far. Frenkie de Jong for Barcelona, who are pushing to level the tie. One goal will do it. In by Martin. Headed in for 2-2. It's Dani Olmo, and we're level at aggregate. This is just extraordinary. This is Champions League football taken to the next level. What a comeback from Barcelona. 2-0 down at half-time, and 15 minutes into the second half, Dani Olmo has made it 2-2 on the night. It is 5-5 on aggregate.
And you know what? The goals will not stop here. It's a wonderful ball from Gerard Martin. I just wonder, I mean, Carlos Augusto, I know he's more of a defender than DeMarco, but DeMarco was playing really well, attacking well, and defending well, most importantly. And the ball to the far post, as it's gone to the far post, that's where he would have been. And the defenders, the central defenders, are looking to say, who's picking him up? Look, it's a wonderful ball. It's a great header.
And they're in again. Rafinha down the left-hand side. It's 5-5 on aggregate. Rafinha left corner of the penalty area, plays it back. Dani Olmo might size up a shot, and he's curled it over the top. Half an hour to go. 2-2 on the night. 5-all on aggregate. Second time in the tie that Barcelona have come from 2-0 down. So where next, Scott Minto?
You asked me the question, can Barca come into it? Well, they didn't need 45 minutes, did they? Just the 15 will do.
It's an all-time classic, this semi-final, no doubt now.
I mean, Adrian took the mick out of me, didn't he, saying that there was the beeps going, because I'm reversing my decision of last week, because I honestly did not know which way this was going to go. It was so open, and I think we're seeing just that now. Just amazing to be watching this football in a Champions League semi-final second leg. It's as good as it gets.
And so there we have it. Only the fourth Champions League semi-final to have seen 10 or more goals on aggregate. 10 already in the tie. Got to be at least one more. If not, of course, penalties. Should we get all that way? I can't see there not being another goal.
Eric Garcia will still be thinking he should be on a hat-trick, wouldn't he?
Yamal darts in field and finds Pedri 30 yards out. Out to his left is Martin to whip in another good cross over the head of Ferran Torres. Barcelona, I think, were appealing for handball. It's thumped away by Bastoni, but Inter are just hanging on at the moment now at 5-all on aggregate. Their 2-goal advantage wiped out, and they can't get on the ball. What a response from Barcelona. And incredible credit must go to Hansi Flick's team.
Yeah, look, we sort of say a strength can be a weakness, and no defender really wants to play that high line, but by doing that, they do compress it. And we saw, the second goal with the first leg, that kind of ball just to the outside of that outside centre-half, and then it was headed back in by Rafinha for Ferran Torres to make the run. And this time it was Gerard Martin again, just playing it to the far post, just outside the left side of the three of the centre-halves. It's such a difficult one to pick up if the wing-back's not dropping back. And he didn't in that particular time. And it was a great run by Dani Olmo, but there's no doubt about it. They practice on this. They were in the warm-up in the first leg in Barcelona. Just that ball to the far post, and then maybe a header across, but he didn't need it there. So well done, as you say, to Hansi Flick.
Here's Frenkie de Jong in the centre circle for Barcelona, who are all over Inter now. 2-2 on the night, 5-all on aggregate. And more to come, no question. Carlos Augusto has won a throw. Inter look a shadow of the team we saw leave the pitch at the end of the first half, Scott.
It's just incredible what goals do.
Football!
Honestly, the positivity for a team that's 2 goals down and somehow they've got to find a way. Going off at half-time and then into the way they would have gone off, almost feeling invincible. They wouldn't have wanted half-time to come. But Barcelona, just brilliant reaction.
This is why we love this game. Lautaro Martinez darting infield from the left. To his right is Denzel Dumfries, but he doesn't find him with the pass. It's cleared away in the end quite easily by Gerard Martin.
And you're right, Inter have lost their heads a little bit. They're not thinking as cold and calculated as they were in the first half.
All given away by Bissek. Rafinha racing down the inside left. He can lay it square. Dani Olmo's onto it. Oh, and he tried to pop it into the path of Ferran Torres. He was there. Yamal was there. Golden chance for Barcelona to take the lead on aggregate, and they've missed it.
Well, what's Bissek doing there? Your centre-half trying to run it as if like you are one of the wingers, or maybe even like Lamine Yamal, gives the ball away. It's a great opportunity. I think he has to shoot himself. I think Ferran Torres is offside. Comes a point where you're inside the box, have a shot yourself.
And Barcelona keep up their amazing record of scoring in Champions League knockout games. Scored in 19 of their last 20 such matches now. The only time they didn't was that second leg at Anfield against Liverpool several years ago now. It's 2-2.
They're still vulnerable, Barcelona, and Inter just showed about 30 seconds, 60 seconds ago that with a better pass and one of their players would have been in. They've got to go back to the game plan now. They kind of lost their heads a little bit. If they do what they did in the first half, they will create chances, but at the moment it's Barcelona looking like they could go on and get the next goal.
Absolutely. All Barcelona playing from right to left in the second half in their lime green change kit. 20 minutes into the second half on Talksport. Sports Bar follows us tonight whenever this finishes. 03717 223344 to have your say with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Tomorrow, PSG against Arsenal. Live inside the stadium from Paris. All the build-up from breakfast from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yamal skipping away down the right-hand side. He's beyond Augusto. Yamal to the dead ball line with a great cross. Headed away, though, by Dumfries. It'll drop down to Eric Garcia out on the right again. His one is checked by Mkhitaryan, but Inter can't get out of their own half. 2-2 on the night. 5-all on aggregate. Gerard Martin
Tries to roll it through the middle, cleared away by Acerbi. They're defending nervously now. Pedri into the path of Yamal, whips it in with his left foot, cleared away, drops towards the edge of the box, and Inter will have it now with Barella. And Barella can try and carry it forward, but he's too slow. It's won back by Dani Olmo. The way this game is going, a Barcelona lead feels inevitable. Rafinha to the edge of the penalty area. Bastoni wins it back. Inter have to get a grip, but they can't at the moment. It's a Barcelona throw. 10 yards into the Inter half. This tie at the moment, surely only going one way, Scott.
Well, no, I honestly, I can't say that. But Barcelona for sure are looking like they're going to get the next goal. And again, the strength, weaknesses, they're certainly vulnerable, but by having that high line, by compressing it, they're not giving in to any time on the ball to kind of turn and keep the ball and have those 2 or 3 passes and then look for that runner in behind. Barcelona all over them because psychologically they're back in the game now.
Heading towards the final quarter of the 90 minutes, at least anyway. And it's a great week of European football on Talksport because, remember, Manchester United against Athletic Bilbao here on Thursday. Tottenham away at Bodo Glimt on Talksport 2, and the start of the playoffs on Thursday night as well. Every game live on the network. Forward by Dani Olmo, interception on the slide by Acerbi. Inter have it now with Mkhitaryan. He's giving it away. Oh, he's launching on Yamal. Is that a penalty? It is a penalty to Barcelona. Mkhitaryan protests his challenge late on Yamal, and the 17-year-old does play his part after all. The referee says that's just inside the box. Was it?
Well, let's have a look. I think it started inside, but it's gone a little bit outside as well. We'll have to wait and see what VAR says about that. But again, it's about Inter trying to have little passes, but in the wrong place. And then it's a bad pass. Yamal comes in, steps inside. Mkhitaryan panics, brings him down, and is given a penalty. And look, we'll have to see proper angles on it. It looks like it started outside, but it's gone inside. The connection between the two is still inside. Still not seeing properly.
And the referee is signalling here that by the tiniest of margins, it will not be a penalty kick. The foul was just outside the penalty area. Mkhitaryan on Yamal. It could hardly have been any closer. 2-2 on the night, 5-all on aggregate, no penalty, but a free kick right on the edge of the box, right on the line almost.
Well, he's caught him twice. First time just outside, and if you see Yamal's back foot, he catches him again, which is inside the box. Controversial moment for sure.
No penalty given at the end away to our left this time, but Barcelona are on the comeback trail, and they've got a free kick which Rafinha is standing over. Not really seen much of him in the second leg so far. Right hand edge of the box, he's going to curl this Rafinha. He's on his own. Oh, he's laid it square to Dani Olmo. Back to Yamal. Deflected over the top. It hit his own man. It hit De Jong and flew over. Oh, it was goal bound. It stays 5-all on aggregate.
Well, it's a really well worked free kick, I have to say, because I'm thinking to get that up and down when it's right on the edge of the box, that's going to be a very difficult thing to do. A little 1-2. We'll need to see a proper angle whether it's going in. I don't think Sommer's anywhere near it, so he'd certainly be hoping it would have gone the other side of the post, but yet more drama.
Well, they're making the changes now into they have to really. Darmian and Taremi coming on. It is the end of the evening for Lautaro Martinez, and Bissek will come off as well. You think they have to do something with the way that the game, the second half, is panning out. Martinez waves to the crowd. He scored the opening goal, won the penalty that led to the second. Barca have come back to level on the night and level the tie on aggregate. 20 minutes to go on Talksport, at least of the 90. And it's Mehdi Taremi and Matteo Darmian. Both came on in the first leg, on in the second.
Yeah, I wonder whether Lautaro Martinez was told, look, just give us 70 minutes or, he's not going to make the full 90. I don't think it's a substitution that he would have wanted to make. They need a goal, and he's their best finisher.
Inter can't get on the ball. They cannot keep possession. Barcelona utterly dominant in the second half. When the tie looked beyond them, they've come back and now they look likely winners. Can they do it inside 90 minutes? The ball is with Kubasi. Square to De Jong. Just shy of the centre circle. Kubasi to his right on halfway. Forward to Yamal. Now he's going to run at Carlos Augusto. Mkhitaryan trying to help him out. Yamal back to Eric Garcia. And it's with De Jong again on the halfway line. Back to Martinez. Barely seen Marcus Thuram get a touch of the ball in the second half for Inter. 2-2. 5-5 on aggregate. Early ball down the middle, half cleared by Barella. It'll drop to Rafinha on the left foot, 30 yards out. Now Pedri takes over. Pedri works it wide to Yamal. Corner of the box, he's going on the outside. Yamal crosses right-footed. He's overhit that one, but it'll be retrieved by Gerard Martin. Barcelona born and bred, and has he won a corner? It's trickled away. I can't quite tell whether that's going to be a corner or a throw to Barcelona here. Well, Danny almost come across. It is a corner. And Kubasi and Martinez are both forward. And Barcelona now looking to turn the tie around. And would you believe it, looking to go in front for the first time in the tie. Dani Olmo takes the corner short to Yamal. He's going to run towards the corner of the penalty area. He'll roll it back about 20-30 yards to Martin. There's a Barcelona player down on the edge of the box. He's got to his feet. It's Pedri looking at the referee. Dani Olmo. And they've kept the ball here, Barcelona, but quite conservative from the corner. Rafinha just forward of the centre circle. That's a good 20-yard pass to Yamal, who dinks it in high left-footed but has overhit this one. And it's going to swing away towards the corner flag. Darmian will let it go out of play, and that's an Inter throw. 17 minutes of normal time left. Inter 2, Barcelona 2. 5-5 on aggregate, and still no separating them, Scott Minter.
Still no idea which way this is going to go. Honestly, really would love extra time. I don't want this to end.
Can Inter nick something? Not with a bad ball like that out of defence by Mkhitaryan. Straight to Gerard Martin. Territorially, it's almost like attack v defence at the moment. And Simone Inzaghi will be bemused and desperately disappointed as to how the second half has turned out so far. And Dani Olmo raiding down the right in the cross towards Ferran Torres. It's brought down by Dumfries in the penalty area. He will clear.
Brilliant mover from Dani Olmo. Going short, then to go long, being able to get the cross in, and Rafinha's got to read that. He's got to gamble at the far post.
Inzaghi looks like he wants to run onto the pitch and try and do something about the scoreline himself. They are 5-5 on aggregate on Talksport in the Champions League with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs with the flexibility to rent for minutes or months. We'll do it all again in the Champions League tomorrow in Paris, as Arsenal aim to turn things around away at PSG. Is that Araujo ready to come on for Barcelona? He is stripped and ready to go. Very experienced centre-half. Now Inigo Martinez for Barca on the halfway line. Good threaded ball up the left-hand touchline, but too much on it for Ferran Torres. It's back to the goalkeeper from Cherby. And Sommer will clear left-footed high up into the air. Thuram jumping for it, nods it high. And it'll reach Mkhitaryan, and now Taremi with his first real touch, the number 99. And Taremi lets it roll out of play. I thought that was going to be a Barcelona throw. I'm not sure whether it has gone their way, but there'll be a substitution upcoming anyway. Here comes Araujo for Barcelona, and off goes Martinez here. So that'll be a straight swap in the centre of defence. 15 minutes of normal time to go. At the moment, the first of the Champions League semis is heading to extra time. Taremi looking to burst through the middle. Hooked clearance up into the air by Garcia. You almost don't feel either team deserves to lose this semi-final. The amount of work that both have put into the game, and both have had spells in the tie where they've dominated. Barcelona look the more likely at the moment, but maybe Inter only need one chance.
But you know what? This is Europe's premier competition, and we're in the semi-final now. And we're down to whether you like the group stages, whether you like the table, the 4 teams. And this is what we should be seeing. We don't always get it.
Ferran Torres, edge of the D, laying it back to Dani Olmo. He picks the pass to Yamal, inside right, onto the left foot. Yamal now darting into the penalty area, blocked off by Mkhitaryan. Still trying to work an angle for a shot, and Sommer with a flying save. How did he get the shot away? Sommer turns it behind for a corner.
He's got 3 players around him, and yet he comes inside and he whips it around 2 of the players. That is a brilliant save. I'm sure Jan Sommer will be looking at the photographer behind him and saying, did he get that? Because that was a wonder save.
Tip it away right-footed for a corner. 13 minutes to go. 2-2 on the night. 5 all on aggregate. Barca have come from 2-0 down on the night. Delivered in by Dani Olmo from the near side. Headed away. It'll drop to Mkhitaryan, who just thumps it up into the air. Not really sure what the inter-tactic is at the moment, really, other than to maybe wait for some chance at a counter, but they can't get the ball. On by Barella, high up the middle towards Taremi. It's more hopeful than anything else, and offside against Taremi anyway.
Well, just wondering if De Jong should be playing offside there, and in the end, he just about did. I don't think it was meant. But you're right, I don't think Inter have any tactics at the moment. Talked about they've lost it. Their head's gone at the moment. Barcelona all over them, with the ball capable of creating something, and without it, not giving them any time to take the pressure off.
Yamal on that right corner of the area again, goes on the outside of Augusto, twisting, turning, crossing, left-footed. Sommer flaps at it to divert it away. Did enough, the goalkeeper. It'll be chipped away by Dumfries, again beaten to the second ball. Again Barcelona come forward. It's just wave after wave of attacks with 12 to go. Pedri 30 yards out, dead centre. Inter desperately defending the edge of their own 18-yard area. Martin with the cross, cleared away by Acerbi, picked up by Çalhanoğlu. He smuggles it only as far as the inter-technical area. They're now going to make a couple of changes. It's going to be Davide Fratesi and Piotr Zielinski who are going to come on, and that midfield that has lost a grip on the game. We're going to see Çalhanoğlu come off. I think his number was first up, and you wouldn't be surprised to see Mkhitaryan come off either, and he is, and they just haven't had a grip on it in the second half, Scott Minto.
No, and they're the substitutions that I thought might have come a little bit earlier. They're not controlling the game in the way they did, and when I say control, you don't always have to have the ball. You can still be in reasonable control without the ball. Jose Mourinho has been a master at that, but the second half has been completely different, and take off a striker and a defender. For me, it was the midfield where they're just not able to keep the ball, and they're almost just suffocating with the way that Barcelona are playing their way, compressing the pitch, condensing it, and then believing they've got the better technique, which they have.
It was Inter's first half. The second has belonged to Barcelona. 2-2 on the night, 5 apiece on aggregate. Racing down the left for Inter is Augusto. The ultimate prize, though, of a place in the final, still to be decided. Araujo, midway inside his own half. For now, Pedri. Passing has been outstanding in the second half, Barcelona. They barely missed a pass. Martin, out on the left-hand side. Just over 10 minutes of normal time remain on Talksport. Sports Bar, once we're done. Who knows when that might be, though. We might have extra time to come. Lamine Yamal infield from the right, all left foot, and he's at a slow pace. He's gone backwards, and here is Pau Kubasi, the number 2, playing about 15 yards into Inter territory. This is a bit like the first half in the first leg.
Yeah, and it tells you everything, doesn't it? Barcelona have made one substitution, that's at the back, and you wonder whether Inigo Martinez is 100% fit. Inter have made 5. They've been running around, they've been chasing. He's changed half the outfield team already, and there's still another 10 plus maybe another 30 to go on top.
It's a gamble, isn't it, from Simone Inzaghi? Maybe with Martinez. I think he was on a yellow card as well, so perhaps that was part of the thinking.
We'll just tell him not to make a tackle. Tell him don't even try it.
Bastoni will take the throw for Inter in the left-back position. Fermin Lopez getting ready to come on for Barcelona. Scored the winner in the league at the weekend, and of course it's El Clasico at the weekend for Barcelona. What an unbelievable week
for Hansi Flick's team. Inter slowing the game down here. Are they playing for extra time, Scott, do you think?
No, I think they're out on their feet. I think it's like we're
knackered.
Yeah, we're in the 10th round at the moment of a boxing match, and the first 6 rounds it looked like they were going to have a stoppage, and suddenly the boxers just absolutely laid one in.
Here is Denzel Dumfries racing down the right-hand side and putting a good cross into the area. Hit on the turn by Fratesi and blocked. That was a chance for the Italians. Fratesi again, up to the edge of the penalty area now. Square to Zielinski. Thought about letting fly. Works it wide to Augusto. His cross is deflected and cleared away by Araujo. There's the point you made, Scott Minto. It's 5-5 on aggregate. The home fans at the San Siro still believe they can win this.
Well, they're trying to get behind their team, but for the last 20 minutes plus, they've just seen their team on the back foot completely. And yet, one little attack and the fans are desperate to get behind their side, but as I say, Inzaghi's changed half the outfield players just because in this second half, even in the first half, they were kind of in control with and without the ball, but it still takes and expends a lot of energy. And suddenly, when it's like bang, bang, and you're on the back foot, it's amazing how suddenly tired you really do get, how much the mind is like, I'm not sure how much I've got. And Inzaghi's tried to change things and freshen things up. It's a little bit better in the last few minutes, but it's still Barca on top.
On comes Fermin Lopez for Dani Olmo. 5-5 on aggregate, 2-2 on the night. Thuram nearly played in Dumfries there, cleared away by Barcelona. Maybe they can break. De Jong header towards Yamal. Slightly better last couple of minutes from Inter. 7 of normal time remaining. Header back by Martin to goalkeeper Szczesny. A goal here would surely send either team through to the Champions League final.
I don't know. There's still 7 minutes plus injury time to go. You never know.
Can't go too early.
This time. Well, I think one thing I've realised is it's just don't call it. Just watch and enjoy.
Well, I don't think anyone expected it to be quite as good as this. We really have been treated to one of the great semi-finals of modern times in the Champions League. Eric Garcia to De Jong, midway inside the Inter half. Little flick by Pedri, not a good one, a bit careless. And they won it back here, Inter. A little bit more control maybe with Fratesi and Zielinski now onto the field. Long clearance by Sommer. He's actually belted that out of play. Barcelona throw just shy of the halfway line. 6.5 plus added time to go. 2-2 in the second leg. And Inter 5, Barcelona 5, the aggregate score.
Yeah, we're in the 11th round right now, Joe. Both teams are really tired.
What are you going to call penalties then in that case?
Well, the referee's actually going to be telling them if it stays like this, if there's no such thing as a draw, I'm going to have to box a few more rounds.
Martin in the left-back area, smuggles it away only as far as the onrushing Matteo Darmian, and now Dumfries has set up Thuram. The chance is on here with the low cross. What a bit of defending by Araujo, but I think Taremi was probably miles offside in the box. And the flag is up. He didn't time his run there at all, Taremi. And in fact, Thuram didn't rather in the build-up anyway.
Yeah, again, much as we criticise the high line, that's a really good line where Thuram is not looking, because he's got his back four, the back four Barcelona to his back, so he doesn't know where they are. And they've just pushed up and it's offside, and it's a really good line.
Matteo Darmian, another former Manchester United man, has just been caught by Fermin Lopez. Well, the twists and turns of the first leg, which ended 3 apiece, have been pretty much matched by what we've seen in the second leg. 2-2 on the night. And Dani Olmo's header to draw Barcelona level in the tie. That's where we are with 5 minutes to go. That's where we have been for the last 25 minutes. Just a breathtaking watch. Fermin Lopez tackled by Zielinski, tracking back. Double deflection, Barcelona throw just over the halfway line. It'll be interesting to see how much added time at the end of normal time there is. Heading for extra time though. Lamine Yamal drifting in field. He gets it back from Pedri. Yamal towards the edge of the box, touch heavy, surrounded by 2 in blue and black. It's cleared away by Inter. Taremi trying to win the flick on down the middle, but he can't get to it from his strike partner Thuram. Barcelona win it back yet again.
It's been a few times De Jong just dropped in and helped out his back foot. You don't necessarily want him to be in either a physical battle or a race with someone like Marcus Thuram, but he certainly reads the game really well.
De Jong at walking pace on the halfway line. I don't think we've said that once across the whole of the tie so far. Now the ball is out on the right-hand side with Eric Garcia. Infield to Ferran Torres. Not a good flick. Intercepted quite easily by Zielinski. Early ball over the top and Thuram could be clear. Szczesny raced out to hammer it away from midway inside his own half.
That is wonderful goalkeeping, because he had to be almost not on the edge of the box but even further out of it, and the ball that was played was almost an inter-zone third. Because of that high line, it was just literally just get it into Barca's half. Brilliant goalkeeping.
5-5 on aggregate on Talksport. Sports Bar once we're done. Arsenal PSG tomorrow at the Parc des Princes. Given away by Fratesi. Barcelona have it back. Pedri picks out Rafinha onto the left foot. Turned away. Rafinha rifles in the rebound. The comeback is complete. And is that Barcelona heading to Munich? Even by their standards, this is something truly special. It's Rafinha to rifle in the rebound. They were 2-0 down on the night. They now lead 3-2, and they are 6-5 up on aggregate. Hats off to Barcelona.
Do you know what? There's no way a back five should concede a goal like that. Denzel Dumfries has pushed on, thinking that maybe being in the attacking position, but Damien's not then come around. There has to be some kind of communication between the two. If Darmian doesn't think he can actually come round for Rafinha, then he's got to call Dumfries back. Rafinha's completely free. He takes the touch, he's on his left foot, it's a good strike, it's a decent save, but it comes straight back at Rafinha. And he absolutely pings it into the corner of the net. I don't know who it was by the post, the Barcelona player. He made sure he didn't touch it because he was in an offside position. That is a brilliant strike. My goodness me, we are just over 90 seconds away from the 90 minutes being up, and I still don't want to say that Barcelona are going through.
An incredible record that he's got in this season's Champions League, a 13th goal of this year's competition for Rafinha, and it puts Barcelona 6-5 up on aggregate in the semi-final. And is that the end of this incredible story? We will find out shortly. But for Barcelona, who have produced incredible Champions League comebacks in the past, to do it again in this manner, just a measure of this talented, remarkable squad, led by a remarkable manager who has helped, no doubt, inspire the comeback. But it's still not quite done yet. A minute of normal time to go. Dumfries with a long throw into the penalty area. Thuram has brought it down, and Fratesi could be in. He's blocked off by Kubasi. 3-2 Barcelona on the night, 6-5 up on aggregate. Pedri is fouled, and it'll be a free kick to Barcelona. If they see it through, it'll be one of the great second half performances in the history of the Champions League.
What's Acerbi doing there? Obviously Pedri was going to look for the foul, but you're absolutely right. Obviously the PSG game springs to mind in terms of the numbers of what happened with the first leg and the comeback from Barcelona. Lionel Messi inspired, but this second half, Joe, I mean, Inter were in as much control as they possibly could be. Defensively they looked solid, going forward they looked dangerous, and Barca looked vulnerable. And for them to come back and not just bring it to 2-2 and possible extra time, but at this moment in time look like they're going through to the final. This is one of the best second halves of any team in Champions League history.
5 minutes of added time as Lewandowski replaces Ferran Torres. Barcelona are heading through, Inter are heading out. Di Marco looks on the verge of tears, watching on from the bench. Simone Inzaghi can't believe it, and some are leaving the San Siro early.
What are you doing?
Dumfries looking to raid down the right. Inter looked like they had it in the bag. They looked like they were heading to a second Champions League final in 3 years, but it's Barcelona going through as it stands. Free kick to Inter, right in front of the Barcelona dugout. Nearly a minute through 5 added, Inter 2, Barcelona 3. Barcelona 6-5 up on aggregate.
I was just about to say, even though I don't want to call it, Barcelona have been so in control in this second half, and Inter have looked so on their feet. Something like this, a set piece, just get it into the box, try and win a second ball. It's the best way of getting this equaliser.
Nicola Barella's free kick is headed away. Eric Garcia will let the loose ball trickle out to play. He couldn't get there. It's an Inter throw into the second minute of the 5 added. This is desperation time for Inter Milan now. Twice in the tie they've been 2-0 up. They were 2-0 up tonight, but now they're trailing 3-2 and they're heading out. Long throw. Barca trying to clear through Pedri. Not very far. It'll reach Bastoni, who'll let it go out again for another long throw to be hoisted into the penalty area from the same position. If they get a goal here, they can send it to extra time. Long throw, flicked on by Augusto. They want handball, do some of the Inter fans. Now Barca are on the break with Lamine Yamal. 3 against 3. Yamal lays it square to Pedri. Middle of the Inter half. He's going to check back out to the right. And Yamal again into the second of 5 added. Yamal shoots! Hits the post! That nearly wrapped it up well and truly.
It's just ridiculous what we're watching here. Brilliant counter-attack from Barcelona. Yamal runs with it, plays it to Pedri, who keeps the ball really well, gives it back to the youngster, and he comes inside, hits the post. Do you know what? I want to see another goal.
I want to see another game. Can there be a third leg? Halfway through 5 added minutes. Barcelona heading through 6-5 on aggregate after an amazing second half comeback. But here come Inter. Dumfries down the right. Half touch by Martin. Dumfries wins it back. Jose de la Cross. It's in! It's in! It's a Derby! 6-6 on aggregate! This is football beyond Inter's wildest dreams! In the 3rd minute of added time! And are we heading to extra time? When you think it's all over, you've got to think again. This is the semi-final tie that keeps on giving. Inter have thrown everything at it, and Francesco Acerbi has made it 3-3 on the night. It is 6-all on aggregate.
Well, they've been absolutely outplayed in this second half. They're out on their feet. They're running on fumes. And yet they've never given up. Watching Inzaghi celebrating. You know what it is? It's the big centre-half going up. You saw Ruben Amorim do it with Harry Maguire. We've done it here tonight as well. Acerbi playing that centre-forward role. And Araujo has to get around him. He can't allow him to get across him and get the shot in. Chesney's got no chance whatsoever, and you know what? I'm going to be bold here. I think we're going to have extra time.
You were right. It's never over till it's over. A booking for Acerbi, who took his shirt off in celebration. Is there going to be a yellow card for someone on the Barca coaching staff? Maybe even for Hansi Flick? Yep, Hansi Flick is booked. And maybe someone else on the bench that we can't quite see at the moment. 6-all on aggregate. 3-3 in the first leg, 3-3 in the second. There haven't been many better Champions League semi-finals than this in the history of the Champions League and the European Cup. We've nearly had the 5 added minutes. Some who left the San Siro, they'll be running back in. Never leave before the final whistle.
I did say what you're doing.
It's just fantasy football, this.
Do you know what? It's football at its very best. And when you think of where we are at this stage of the competition, it's outrageous.
Lamine Yamal chips it into the box. Lewandowski's flick. It's cleared away by Bastoni. We've had the 5 added minutes. There might be a minute or two to go because of the Inter celebrations. Level on aggregate at 6 apiece. Yamal into the box. Blocked off by Acerbi. Cleared away only as far as Eric Garcia. Down the Barcelona right. It'll be won back by Taremi in front of De Jong. He's being urged forward now. Into the 6th added minute. Hacked away by Ronald Araujo. Thundered forward by Acerbi. Pau Kubasi brings it down. Now here's Rafinha. 3-3 on the night. 6-all on aggregate. Lamine Yamal could be in. He's through. It's saved by Sommer. Oh, that was his big chance right at the end. And he poked it straight at the goalkeeper. And surely extra time beckons now.
And that's it. That was the moment. That was the moment for him to score the winning goal with Inter no time to come back.
We will have extra time on Talksport. Can you believe it? One of the great Champions League semi-finals ever, and they still cannot be separated. Just like the first leg, it has ebbed and flowed. Barcelona thought they'd completed the comeback. Garcia, Olmo and Rafinha in the 87th minute. That made it 6-5 on aggregate after Inter had taken a 2-0 first half lead on the night through Lautaro Martinez and Hakan Çalhanoğlu. They threw forward Francesco Acerbi. He got the equaliser. It is 3-3 on the night, 6-all on aggregate, and extra time to come.
And I need to lie down. Take a breath. Take a moment. It couldn't be 3-all again. Sure, it's 3-all again. And there's more to come. We wanted more after the first leg. Well, the second leg was just as good. And there's another half hour of extra time coming up live on Talksport.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
The new Silvertown Tunnel is now open for faster cross-river journeys by road. Charges apply each way through both the Silvertown and Blackwall tunnels. Discounts are available for those on certain low-income benefits. Lower off-peak charges are also available when registered with AutoPay. Register now. Search TfL AutoPay. To the Mayor of London and TfL, every journey matters. Faster during peak times based on modelled data. Peak time charging periods vary.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5+ acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
Get ready for the ultimate event in the electrical industry. CEF Live 2025 is 2 incredible days with over 100 leading brands showcasing all the latest innovations. Network with industry professionals, enjoy exclusive on-the-day flash deals, and dive into CPD accredited tech talks. Make a date for the 5th and 6th of June at NEC Birmingham for an event you won't want to miss. Register now at ceflive.co.uk. CEF. Connect with the experts.
You want to claim for missold car finance, but where do you start? Put mycarloanclaims.co.uk in the driving seat. We've created a fast and easy process to find out if you could be owed compensation. For more information on our no-win, no-fee service, text DRIVE to 60777. That's DRIVE to 60777.
My Car Loan Claims.
mycarloanclaims.co.uk is a trading style of a law co, an SRA regulated law firm.
From the underworld of Guy Ritchie, Mobland.
Name's Conrad Harrigan, family man. And if you cross my family, well, you'd better pray.
The Paramount Plus original series.
We shake the right hands, break the wrong ones.
Right now, I am in first gear. Would you like to see me shift to 6?
Starring Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and Helen Mirren.
We've got everyone where we want them.
Mobland. Stream exclusively on Paramount Plus. T's and C's apply. Subscription required. 18+.
Ah, cricket. The unmistakable sound of leather on willow.
Absolute beauty.
Fireworks.
Got the distance. Power ballads.
And T-shirt cannons.
What a catch.
Vitality Blast is back with the biggest local rivalries,
cartwheeling stumps,
and sixes in the sun. Oh, wonderful technique! Have a blast with men's and women's T20 cricket starting 29th of May.
Search Vitality Blast to get your tickets now.
Football, it has its ups and downs. There's the players who kiss the badge and kiss the club goodbye, right after you've splashed out £100 to get their name on your kit. And the A-list striker who always sticks it in row Z. The good news is the Ladbrokes ACCA gives you auto insurance, free bets back and big odds boosts. So whatever else lets you down, it won't be your ACCA. It's a gaffer of an ACCA from Ladbrokes.
18+, online and mobile, minimum odds apply. Maximum 1 to 3 £10 free bets per customer per day. Up to £50 of boosted odds. Restrictions and T&Cs apply. BeGambleAware.org. Take time to think.
Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a move or planning a clear out with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Well, I love it as well, but Sports Bar, it's going to have to wait tonight because we've got something special going on in the San Siro. 3-3 tonight, 6-all on aggregate. Inter Milan or Barcelona? We're about to find out live on Talksport with Scott Minto and Joe Shannon.
Someone's got to win it. Which way will the pendulum swing next? Extra time about to begin. 15 minutes each way, of course. Inter to get us off and underway. From right to left in the first half of extra time in the blue and black, and Barcelona in lime green from left to right. To say that it has delivered would be the understatement of the season. Surely nobody expected an exact repeat of the first leg. That's what we've got. 3-all on the night. Inter 6, Barcelona 6 on aggregate. Half an hour to come, and then penalties. The prize, the Champions League final at the end of May, which of course will be live on Talksport, and tomorrow night we'll bring you PSG against Arsenal. We're back underway. Inter have it with Acerbi, who threw off his shirt in celebration after that equaliser in the 3rd minute of added time. Inter, remember, 2-0 up on the night at half-time. Barcelona turned it around to lead 3-2. Inter's equaliser in stoppage time to take us to extra time. And here we are. I'll recap the two teams in full in a moment for you. Lamine Yamal has it for Barcelona, down by the corner flag. He had a chance to win it right at the very end, Scott Minter.
He absolutely did. It was practically the last kick of the game. I mean, Carlos Augusto did really well because he wasn't going to get there. If it had gone to ground, he would have brought him down, definite penalty. But he did just enough to put him off. But as I say, it was practically the last kick of the game. But do you know what, silly mate? I was actually thinking the Barca were going to win it. I should have gone back to, I have no idea.
Yamal fouled by Augusto. Free kick to Barcelona in the right wing position. We will make no more predictions. A dangerous area this. Augusto's going to get a yellow card. Quickly the Inter team. Sommer in goal. Darmian, Acerbi and Bastoni. Dumfries, Barella, Fratesi, Zielinski and Augusto. Taremi and Thuram up front. Give you the Barcelona team in full in just a moment. A minute and 20 seconds into extra time. 3-3 on the night. 6-all on aggregate. If you're just joining us on Talksport, you missed a thriller so far, but don't worry. The winning moment's still to come. Rafinha delivers in the free kick, headed away before it could reach Eric Garcia, who's already scored once tonight. Zielinski blocks off Rafinha's second attempt and tries to carry it forward to halfway and wins a throw. Barcelona, Szczesny in goal, Garcia, Kubasi, Araujo and Martin, De Jong, Pedri, and then Yamal, Fermin Lopez and Rafinha in support of Robert Lewandowski, who came off the bench right at the end of normal time and may yet have a say himself. 40 goals this season in what happens tonight. A throw by Bastoni over halfway and the header clear, out of play by Garcia.
He might have to take a penalty.
He might well do. To say the Inter celebrations were manic would be another understatement. Simone Inzaghi mobbed by the subs and his coaching staff. They've been on the verge of tears of despair a few moments earlier, but disbelief went in to hold themselves level with one of the few chances they had in the second half of the second leg. Barella out on the left-hand side for Inter, deep into Barcelona territory. It's one back by Fermin Lopez, who will clear skywards, headed down by Acerbi. That's going to go straight out of play. 6-all on aggregate, and Pau Victor of Barcelona, one of the substitutes, has been yellow carded. It might have been something that happened in the aftermath of Inter's equaliser at the end of normal time, maybe.
Do you know what? You actually get more frustrated sitting there watching on the bench or even in the stands than when you're in the game, because you've got a bit more control of it when you're playing. When you're not, you just feel completely out of it, and when you see perceived injustice, you've had to go a little bit over the top.
3 minutes into extra time. High ball up the inside right towards Taremi. He shrugged aside the defender. Taremi to Thuram in the box. Tries to flick it away from the defender. Pau Kubasi and Araujo do just enough between them. They were looking for the flag, Barcelona, but it wasn't forthcoming. They can carry it forward now on the counter with the absolutely tireless Pedri, who this time runs into trouble with Dumfries, and Zielinski slides in, and Inter have got men over here, knocked to the right-hand side, Fratesi into the box. Oh, he slipped at the vital moment before he could cross it in, out of play for a throw, but that's got the San Siro on its feet. Inter throw, 4 minutes into extra time.
Yeah, it's actually brilliant defending from Gerard Martin. He gets back It does look all the time, doesn't it? If they're able to play that pass in between a full-back and a centre-half, then that first ball in, just crying out for a striker to tap it in.
Hopefully more of this tomorrow night in Paris. Long throw by Darmian, cleared away by De Jong for Barcelona. Flick back into the penalty area towards Carlos Augusto, who has fouled Eric Garcia, who might have a touch of cramp, and it's a free kick. PSG against Arsenal, live on Talksport tomorrow night. Thursday night, Manchester United against Athletic Bilbao on Talksport. Bodo Glimt against Tottenham on Talksport 2. And on the Talksport app, we start our coverage of the playoffs with Bristol City against Sheffield United. Sports Bar will be with us once we're done tonight at the San Siro. 3-3 on the night, 6-6 on aggregate, and still no sign as to who's going to win it and reach the final. Rafinha looking to dart infield from the left.
I reckon this is the first time that Jason and Jamie don't want to go on air.
Just want to enjoy it like the rest of us.
It must be.
How do you sum a game like this up? And it's not even done yet. Garcia, middle of the Inter half, right of centre, plays the ball backwards to Araujo, under a bit of pressure from Taremi, so went square to Kabasi quite quickly. And Gerard Martin out on the left-hand side. This is where tired legs might play a part as well, of course, as extra time goes on. In the 6th minute of the first half of extra time, Barcelona and Inter cannot be separated. Not yet, anyway. Yamal, 10 yards from the corner of the penalty area. Shuffles infield onto his left foot, whips it wide to Gerard Martin, who will dink it in left-footed, and it's too high towards the back post, and Fermin Lopez stopped away by Augusto.
It's the ball that they want to play and they've practiced on, you can tell. That one to the far post, just outside the far post, and no one was there.
Yamal again, led with the edge of the penalty area, waited for the run of Pedri, infield and square. Yamal tackled by Bastoni, but it's come through towards Pedri, who can't reach the loose ball. Slightly overhit pass by Fermin Lopez. Sommer, who's made a couple of great saves, was out quickly.
Yes, it was an overhit pass, and he can't claim tiredness. The weight of the pass so important. Pedri would have been in, through on goal. Massive moment.
Scott Minto, former Chelsea and Benfica defender, with us tonight for commentary on Talksport in the 7th minute of extra time. Inter 3, Barcelona 3 on the night, and 6 goals apiece on aggregate. 6-6. Bastoni with the yellow boots on, back to Sommer, who hammers it upfield. That's high towards Thuram, who might try and reach it through the middle, but he was beaten to it by Kubasi. Araujo back to Wojciech Szczesny, into a 2-0 up at half-time. In normal time, would you believe it, in the second leg? How long ago does that feel now?
Well, Thuram there does look tired, doesn't he? It was incredible when you said that Barcelona had the chance when it was 2-2 on the night to go ahead for the first time in the tie, and they did. You're thinking that would be enough, but no, this Inter side never given up. And it just sums up the tie, doesn't it? It's toing and throwing, pendulum one way and the other. Don't guess, just enjoy.
I won't ask to call you. I won't ask you to call it again. But
please don't.
At what point do the managers think about penalties? I wonder. As Hector Fort is going to come on here, the right back for Barcelona. Garcia, we saw struggling with cramp. He's only 18. Hector Fort, another Barcelona-born player, and has rarely ever appeared in the Champions League. Made his first team debut in this competition last season, and just one appearance in the Champions League since. What a stage. The San Siro, first half of extra time, semi-final, 6-6 aggregate score to come into a game like this.
I hope he's got that kind of exuberance of youth where he's not thinking.
Thuram, right edge of the penalty area now, blocked off by Martin. He's heading for the dead ball line, but he's away from goal. Now he's turned inside, away from Araujo, pulled it back. Taremi lays it off. Fratesi gets the shot in and picks out the bottom corner. Inter lead again. The pendulum has swung the way of the Italian team. Davide Fratesi, who loves a big moment, who loves a big goal, the big game player, might just have the biggest goal of the lot. 4-3 Inter on the night, 7-6 on aggregate. Don't you just love football?
Absolutely. Looking at pictures of Hansi Flick, and he cannot believe what he's just seen. But again, it's poor defending. But let's give Inter a lot of credit here, and Frattesi in particular. And Thuram, just said about how he looks like he's running on fumes. He looks so tired, but he goes out towards the corner flag, but a great turn. He gets the cross in. There's a layoff, and no one's going out to him. Is it Kabasi who's just... all he's concentrating, he's putting his arms behind his body, and he's falling over, thinking Frattesi's going to shoot first time. Just get out to him. He's taken the touch, he's taken another little half second, and that is composure at its very best, giving Szczesny no chance whatsoever. Still not calling it.
He scored the winner in the quarter-final, ultimately against Bayern Munich, and he scores in the semi-final. 10 minutes into extra time, they're bouncing in the San Siro. We've had 2 comebacks in one in this second leg. It was 2-0 to Inter, then 3-2 to Barcelona, and now Inter lead 4-3. 7-6 on aggregate. This is just getting ridiculous.
This is unbelievable. This is everything you could dream about watching any game of football, let alone a Champions League semi-final, first and second leg.
It's still not finished, is it? Yamal with the ball down the middle. It's going to be gathered by Jan Sommer.
And you know what I was saying about Fort, about I hope he isn't thinking? He's just come on to a Champions League semi-final, second leg, where it was level with a chance that he may be having to take a penalty. Now, he may not now, and they'll probably take penalties right now. I mean, again, you talk about the mental strength of Barcelona coming back from 2-0 down to 3-2 and just moments away from going through. But then the mental strength of Inter, never giving up, finding a way to take it to extra time, and now they're on top.
Well, the goal scorer Frattesi is struggling here, and he's gone down and being treated by the Inter physios. And moments after scoring, and the incredible emotion of what might be the winner in a Champions League semi-final, he ran up towards the fence that lines the edge of the pitch and then beats his chest with his fist in celebration. A celebration fit for a goal of this importance and that nature, and the Inter fans responding with incredible noise. It has been a tie for the ages.
I don't know what more to say. It's been a great game of football. The technical side, the tactical side. The managers have made substitutions to try and keep things going. It's gone back and forth. And as I say, I'm still not sure this is the end of it.
Frattesi off the pitch for the moment, asking for even more from the home fans. You're with Talksport. Inter 4, Barcelona 3, as the rain tumbles down in northern Italy. 7-6 to Inter on aggregate, and we're about 2.5 minutes away from the end of the first half of extra time.
And Lewandowski's hardly had a touch.
No, not yet. But there's still time. And Frattesi's still off the pitch here, still temporarily down to 10 Inter, as they hack the ball over the halfway line. What play in the build-up by Thuram, who must be exhausted. But Inter are going through as it stands to face either PSG or Arsenal. Barcelona have it out on the left with Martin. Back to Kubasi. What have Barcelona got left in the tank now? The contrast in emotions that both teams have experienced, particularly in this second leg, is just incredible. The highs and lows of football captured in 103 minutes.
Do you know what? I likened it to a boxing match, and take away the brutal physicality of a boxing match, but mentally, you know, you're on the floor, you've got to get up. And then suddenly you've knocked your opponent down, but he gets up and knocks you back on the note. It's a slugfest.
The Sports Bar will take your calls once we're done. But here come Barcelona, who aren't finished yet. Lewandowski on the edge of the D. Back to Hector Fort. Well, he hit one. It's over the top. Never scored a senior goal, the teenager. And that was always rising.
I'll tell you what, he got to the edge of the box there. Keep that on target. That would have been interesting.
And it's really driving heavy rain now. Simone Inzaghi's blue suit is absolutely soaked, but he's still hopping mad in the technical area. Some of the Inter fans are putting the ponchos on. A minute of extra time First half of extra time to go. Inter 7-6 ahead on aggregate. 4-3 on the night. Barcelona have got just over 15 minutes to save themselves. Acerbi gets in front of Rafinha. Acerbi clears right-footed up towards the halfway line. The rain getting heavier and heavier. Kubasi forward to Frenkie de Jong. Last minute of the first half of extra time. First half of it. Now the ball is with Hector Ford. Forward to Pedri, middle of the Inter half, into with everybody behind the ball. Thuram can barely move as he tries to get back. Does make a good tackle. And Acerbi drives it away from danger. It's going to be Inter camped on the edge of their own 18-yard box for the remainder of extra time.
Yeah, and by Thuram helping his defence out, the ball's cleared and he's just coming back again. If he can, he's got to try and stay up there and somehow hold the ball up if it does come up.
Lamine Yamal, inside right, onto the left foot. He's about 25 yards out. He's chipped in the cross towards the back post. Martin will do well to reach it. And he's prevented it from going out for a goal kick. It's an Inter throw. 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half of extra time. Inter 4, Barcelona 3. Inter leads 7-6 on aggregate, thanks to Davide Frattesi's goal off the bench.
Yeah, and you can see almost all of them are out on their feet. Even the subs that have come on look like they haven't got that extra bit of energy. It's not easy to come on as a sub, to get used to the pace of this game in particular. And what have Barca got?
Well, there have not been many Champions League semi-finals like it in history. And it is still in the balance. Nearly a minute through 3 added at the end of the first half of extra time. 1 goal between them. Barcelona looking for an aggregate equaliser. De Jong out to the inside right, and Yamal, who will clip it across right-footed, too high for Lewandowski. Gathered by Sommer, who plunges to the ground. There's a long way still to see out for Inter just yet.
It's the right ball, though. You can see how Inter are really just dropping back 10 men behind the ball, and sometimes 11 with Thuram. You know, Taremi can do a really good job defensively, as well as obviously being the forward that he is. But when it's not on, if Lewandowski can make that run, that in-swinging cross, just gets a flick on it, there's every chance they can get the goal.
Thuram does superbly to win into a free kick. Halfway through added time at the end of the first half of extra time. Inzaghi, the head coach, is such an enigmatic figure. His arms outstretched, chest puffed out, appealing for it. He must be exhausted, with the adrenaline just running through him at the moment. Inter 7-6 ahead on aggregate. And, well, it will be a case of follow that tomorrow night, PSG and Arsenal, but that'll be equally intriguing. It'll be live on Talksport tomorrow night from Paris, with all the build-up from 6 o'clock in the morning on breakfast with Ali McCoist and Adam Brazil. Free kick drifted in by Barella for Inter, high to the back post, headed away by Martin. And Martin will have to clear again, left-footed. He's given it straight to Denzel Dumfries. Dumfries down the right. Can they get another goal here into Frattesi from the angle? Chips in the cross. Hector Fort heads it away. Last few seconds of added time at the end of the first half of extra time. And Wojciech Szczesny is out to clay. 1 goal in it. 1 goal in the semi-final. Inter in front. Still the second half of extra time to come. Carlos Augusto wins it back for Inter. Even Barcelona now looking a little stretched, and tired legs out there for them. Bastoni wins Inter a throw. They've got to show that mental fortitude for what remains. Quick throw Bastoni, having been given it by his manager, and Taremi on the left-hand edge of the penalty area. He wants them to score more, Inzaghi. He wants the cushion of a 2-goal aggregate lead, and the ball is played through to Barella, and the referee blows the whistle for half-time in extra time just as he was running clear. And Inzaghi ran on the pitch as if to remonstrate with the referee. But regardless of all that, on this extraordinary Milan night, it is Inter heading through with the second half of extra time to come. Frattesi may have scored the winner, but it may not yet be the end of the story. Inter 4, Barcelona 3, Inter 7-6 up on aggregate.
Any danger of any defending? I mean, Jose Mourinho is probably disgusted by this semi-final, but Scott Minto, it's sensational. You can make a case to say this is the very best Champions League tie we've ever seen. But let's talk about that goal that could possibly win it. I mean, Fratesi has stopped. He's taken a moment. He's taken his time. He's made his own time to shape, to shoot, and he's curled it perfectly beyond Szczesny's reach into the inside netting of the goal. It's a moment of pure genius. But how, in the midst of all the chaos that's been going on in this game tonight, Fratesi has just managed to say, hang on a second, let me take a moment. I'll take my time and I'm going to score. It's genius.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got to give credit to Marcus Thuram, who was just out on his feet. And yet still, and don't forget he's been injured recently. He's just coming back. He's not 100% fit, and yet he's playing not just the full 90 minutes, but extra time as well. And he's found a way to get past his defender, played the ball in. As the Inter players laid it off to Fratesi, Kubasi's just got to leave him and get closer. He's too worried about his arms. And you're right, the real top players, in the big moment, they're able to have that cold thought of everything freezes. And he just has that extra half a second pause and whips it round, giving Szczesny no chance.
Yeah, brilliant goal. Is it going to be the winner? We're about to find out. There's been changes as well, which we'll tell you about in a moment. Second half of extra time. Inter 4-3 up tonight, 7-6 up on aggregate. Here's Scott Minto and Joe Shannon.
Off go Pedri and Kubasi, on come Gavi and Pau Victor. So that is certainly an attacking double substitution for Barcelona, who are 15 minutes away from elimination. The second half of extra time, Barcelona will get it underway from right to left, all in lime green. Inter playing from left to right in blue and black. And Simone Inzaghi can't keep himself off the pitch at the moment. He was on it as the second half of extra time began. Inter 7-6 in front on aggregate. Here come Barcelona straight from kickoff. Fermin Lopez infield from the left, playing it back to the centre circle, and Araujo. Will we have penalties? Will Inter see it out? Can Barcelona even pinch it in extra time? You could see anything the way this tie has gone. Here is Gavi in the penalty area down the middle. Matteo Darmian with an important challenge to clear. Already a nervy moment in the second half of extra time for Inter.
Yeah, Barcelona, they realise now it's all or nothing. Yes, they've got 15 minutes left, but such a difficult team they're up against, who have found their way to be organised again.
The ball is at the feet of Frenkie de Jong in the middle of the Inter half. You're listening to Talksport. The first leg finished at 3-3. Inter lead the second leg 4-3 in extra time. We're a minute into the second period of it. Inter sitting deep, Barcelona dominating possession. The ball is out on the right in the driving rain at the feet of Lamine Yamal, who tries to wriggle in field for the umpteenth time. Left-footed passes cleared away by Darmian upfield. It will be attack v defence for the next 13 and a half minutes, Scott Minter.
Yeah, and normally the top passing teams, they want a slick pitch, but the rain is so heavy that the passes need to be inch perfect, and they're not at the moment. The weight of the passing players are slipping as well.
Rafinha chips the ball out to the left, and it's collected in possession by Fermin Lopez. Back to Rafinha on the edge of the D. Tries to work the ball onto his favoured left foot and attempted a pass through the middle that was cleared. Now Yamal, sea of Inter shirts in front of him, into the penalty area. Trying to wriggle the ball onto his right foot down by the dead ball line. He's dinked in the cross somehow, and Lewandowski heads it over the top. Unbelievable ball from Lamine Yamal, and Robert Lewandowski, almost on the goal line, could not convert.
Joe, he's defied the law of physics to get a cross in from there. How has he done that? He's got no right to get a cross in. It's gone over Sommer. And Lewandowski, I mean, Darmian does enough, but Lewandowski, he's got to just focus on the ball. Could argue he's not quite able to get on top of it. That's just an unbelievable cross. He's inside the 6-yard box, keeper beaten, and he's not able to get on top and head it down into an empty net.
And so it remains 4-3 to Inter on the night, 7-6 on aggregate. They're going to make a defensive change. Dumfries maybe struggling with cramp anyway. Here comes their centre-half, Stefan de Vrij. They've got potentially about 5 centre-halves on the pitch now. Inter, it is a defensive setup with 12 minutes of extra time remaining. 12 minutes between Inter and a Champions League final. The ball is down the left-hand side for them with Taremi, number 99. Taremi plays it back to Zielinski. Now Carlos Augusto on the overlap, crosses. Thuram waiting for it, lays it off. Taremi couldn't get there. Hit by Fratesi! What a stop by Szczesny. Turns it behind, keeps Barcelona in the Champions League for now.
Well, I thought Thuram was offside, and he was. Just seeing a picture of it. Fratesi, he's had the shot. It's a great save from Szczesny. It should be pulled back for being offside. It isn't.
Corner given. Surely one more for Inter would seal it well and truly here. They'd have a 2-goal aggregate cushion. Epic night on Talksport. Sports bar to come once we're done. So stay with us. Barella's corner. Poor. Headed away by De Jong at the near post. Zielinski back out wide to Nico Barella, who actually slips and sends it skywards away from goal. Was he offside maybe as the ball was played back to him? It's a free kick to Barcelona. They've got 11 minutes to force penalty kicks.
Well, I mentioned about how Lewandowski's hardly had the touch, but if he doesn't have another one, he'll be thinking about that header. What an opportunity that was.
It was made for Robert Lewandowski. Kind of hit the top of his head, didn't it? Yamal again for Barcelona. A never-ending threat. Infield from the right, curls in a shot, and that bounces well wide. Sommer will leave it. Barcelona desperate to get the ball back to the goalkeeper so play can restart. But Inter are heading through as it stands. Heading to Munich at the end of May. The Champions League final will be on Talksport. All of the major European finals will be live with us. The Europa League and the Conference League, and of course Manchester United and Tottenham on Thursday, and Chelsea will have updates of as well. They're pretty much through, Chelsea, to the Conference League final as everyone expected. Long ball downfield for Inter, and it's hooked away over his shoulder. The clearance from Hector Fort. It's dropped down to Fratesi in the centre circle. Less than 10 minutes of extra time remain, and Inter are on the attack. Taremi has left it for Carlos Augusto down by the corner flag. 7-6 up on aggregate, Inter. Back it goes to the number 7, Zielinski. Zielinski finding Barella now. He's poked it towards the left. It's been kept in play, has it? No, not by Bastoni. And just over 9 minutes for Barcelona, who look a little leggy in parts of the field now.
Yeah, leggy, rattled. Finding it difficult to break down this Inter side now because they're the team that's ahead. And again, like I said about Inter in the second half, Barca need to get back to what they were doing. Keep passing it, don't just knock it long.
Fermin Lopez infield for Barcelona with a cross that has hit the referee, who was inadvertently in the wrong position. He apologises, not much that he could do there, Simon Marciniak, and so Barcelona will get the ball back.
He could have done. He could have chested it, flicked it, and then put it in the top
corner. He could hit it on the volley, could he? 7-6 down on aggregate, Barcelona. He's being told to go back to his technical area by the fourth official, is Simone Inzaghi. There's no point in telling him to do that. Still the rain pours. Still Barcelona come forward now in search of an extra time equaliser. 8.5 minutes left. Yamal plays it back. Hector Fort crosses, overhit. The quality isn't there for Barcelona at the moment, and time is rapidly running out for them. Will Hansi Flick not get that treble after all?
Well, he might have to wait another year for sure. At this moment in time, just Hector Fort, he knows it, the youngster. He's actually come on, he's looked good, he's looked assured, he's not looked overawed at all, but just overhit that first time pass in these conditions. What we got left, what's at stake, everything now has to be perfect.
Sommer will hammer it downfield, up into the sky, and the flick by Taremi towards Thuram. Utterly tireless tonight, Marcus Thuram. He can't get there in front of Fort. I don't know how he's kept going. Back it goes to goalkeeper Szczesny. Barcelona from right to left coming forward again. There are 7.5 minutes of extra time to go. Inter 4, Barcelona 3. Inter have a 7-6 aggregate lead. It's with Rafinha. Middle of the Inter half, touches heavy. Zielinski made a tackle. He's appealing to Thuram to reach it, but he can't move Thuram.
He's done really well since he's come on, Zielinski. He's worked really hard. He's not given Barca players any time on the ball.
Rafinha forward pass. Gavi nearly knocked it through the middle. I think towards Pau Victor. who might have been clear there. Meanwhile, Inter on the counter with Taremi. He's held it up well. 7 to go. Back to Barella. Dink over the top. Carlos Augusto brings it down on the left. Here's the cross. Thuram can't get to it. Back post. Overhit. Fratese's raced across to try and keep it in play. It's a Barcelona throw on the near side in there. Left back position. 6.5 minutes of extra time remain.
What on earth is Carlos Augusto, the left wing back, when you know you don't concede and you're through to the Champions League final, making an overlapping run like that?
Oh, there might be danger here. Rafinha sets up Yamal. Right corner of the area. Lamine Yamal into the box. Oh, and he's curled it so close to the far corner. It's gone wide. Maybe there was a touch from Sommer. If there was, it's a wonder save.
Well, we're seeing an angle where he's running. He's coming inside. He's in the box. That is an unbelievable save. Arguably even better than the one in 90 minutes.
Jan Sommer take a bow. And still 6 minutes left for Barcelona. 7-6 down on aggregate. Sommer takes the corner out of the air. What a touch of a right hand from the goalkeeper to deny Yamal and stop it from being 7-all on aggregate.
Oh, do you know what? That is every bit as good as the one he made earlier. And Lamine Yamal cannot believe it's exactly what he wanted. In the last 20 or so minutes, he's not had space and time to run. He's got inside the box on his left foot. It's going in the corner, curling in. Only Sommer, a handful of goalkeepers in world football could have saved that.
I think that might be the best save, Scott, of the lot. From Jan Sommer to keep Inter in front. They've lost the ball. 5 minutes of extra time to go on Talksport. It's all Barcelona in large part now. Desperate for an equaliser to take us to penalty kicks. And you wouldn't bet against it the way that this game has gone. You just never know what's coming next. Is there one last chance for Barcelona? Rafinha towards the edge of the D. Blocked off by Zielinski. Fratesi gets an important touch, but it's come back to Rafinha. About 40 yards from goal. Dead centre. Less than 5 minutes remain. This is it for Barcelona in the Champions League this season. Yamal in field again. Digs in the cross. Headed on towards goal. De Vrij heads it away. It'll drop down towards Fermin Lopez. A long way from goal. Sets up Rafinha onto the left foot. Back to Fermin Lopez. They're queuing up in the box in the lime green shirts of Barcelona. Can they get it into the penalty area? So tense for Inter here at the San Siro. A classic. In by De Jong, comes to Yamal, turned away again. Lewandowski's looping header is onto the roof of the net. They just can't get it beyond Jan Sommer.
It's brilliant play. This is the kind of the build-up play they want. No panicking, finding a way to try and get a chance. Little bit of luck with a deflection. Lamine Yamal has the strike on his right foot. It's difficult to score from there, especially against this goalkeeper. The angle's tight. It's on his right foot. He gets it on target. And the ball bounces down and quickly at Lewandowski, and he's not quite been able to react.
He's conceded 3 goals tonight, Sommer, and he's been one of the best players.
I'll tell you what, he's going to be in with a shout for man of the match.
Well, we haven't got there yet. We could still have penalties. 7-6 into lead on aggregate. But here come Barcelona, given away by Pau Victor. And Inter now, that was a reprieve for them. It'll be cleared upfield by Fratesi Willett. He's holding up play in front of the Inter dugout, and he's won a free kick. Just over 3 minutes of extra time to go. Inter heading for the Champions League final in Munich. Again, Simone Inzaghi is to be dragged back into his technical area. Fourth official might as well give up on that now.
Well, I think Inzaghi's saying that there's 2 minutes left. Either that or it's not a very nice gesture for someone.
And it's going to be hammered long by Stefan de Vrij and the Inter fans. 75,000 or so in full voice.
Even though he's a minute out, there's 3 minutes to go.
Brought down by Thuram, racing down the left. Less than 3 minutes to go now. Hector Forts won it back for Barcelona by his own corner flag. The ball will be carried forward by Frenkie de Jong. Quick pass on to Araujo. Now Lamine Yamal out on the right-hand side. He's been just dragged away by Bastoni. Tug of the shirt, yellow card for the defender. Free kick Barcelona. Just over 2 minutes remain. They've taken it quickly. 4-3 down on the night, Barcelona. 7-6 down on aggregate. Here on Talksport. Is there to be one last chance? It would take us to penalties. In by De Jong towards Gavi, headed away. Initially by De Vrij, then by Fratesi, then volleyed upfield by Matteo Darmian. Inzaghi urging his interplayers forward. Thuram at the top of the formation has barely got any gas left in the tank. Less than 2 minutes to go now, plus any added time. Yamal accelerates forward into the area again. Deflected shot goes behind off Bastoni. Think it was going wide. It's a corner. How does he have the energy?
I don't know. I mean, again, the kid's 17 and he's playing deep into extra time here. Honestly, this game's not over. 90 seconds plus injury time. The game's not over.
It's a corner to Barcelona. Less than 90 seconds of normal time to go. In by Rafinha, punched over the top by Sommer. That was right underneath the goalkeeper. Everybody in the San Siro on their feet now. Fifth corner for Barcelona. This really is it now, if they're to keep themselves in the Champions League after this epic encounter. Rafinha's corner flicked on by Fermin Lopez and away by Stefan de Vrij. Last minute of extra time. Robert Lewandowski chasing. Back heel from the dead ball line. Hammered away by Bastoni. It'll be a throw to Barcelona. And they're not going to be quick to give the ball back here, Inter. 45 seconds left. How much added time will there be? Inter felt Lewandowski should have been called offside in the build-up there. 40 seconds remain. 7-6 Inter on aggregate. The game that you don't want to end might be about to. And it might be about to end with Inter cheers. Out on the right-hand side, it's Yamal yet again. This time he's tackled by Taremi. And Taremi can carry it forward over halfway. And he'll play it on towards Barella, but he's beaten to it. Maybe one last attack for Barcelona. These are the last few seconds of extra time. They're a goal down on aggregate. It's with Gavi. He's about 40 yards out. Wide left is Fermin Lopez. Back to Gavi again. Gavi to cross right-footed. Headed away by De Vrij. Drops towards Yamal. Taremi clears. 2 minutes of added time at the end of extra time.
I was hoping there'd be 25.
Can Barcelona level the tie again? Rafinha with the cross. Lewandowski's flick cleared away. And it'll drop back towards Yamal, and there'll be a throw to Barcelona out on their right. Yamal's throw to Frenkie de Jong. Now Rafinha takes up possession, attack the defence. In by Rafinha, headed back across goal towards Araujo. Brilliant defending by De Vrij, who was fouled. A minute and 20 seconds left. What an intervention by De Vrij. Inter 7-6 up on aggregate, 4-3 on the night.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a foul. I mean, Lopez has headed the ball back in. De Vrij's got there first. And of course he's going to go down. Araujo couldn't quite get there in the end. I mean, now look, as we were getting towards the end of the 90 minutes, the San Siro, some of them were going home. Never believed they could come back. Now listen to them. Incredible.
Inter's resolve extraordinary, and they are nearly there on Talksport. 40 seconds to go. 4-3 on the night, 7-6 on aggregate against Barcelona. They were heading out Inter at the end of normal time, remember. They scored an injury time equaliser to take it to extra time, and Davide Fratesi looks like he's scored the goal to finally end it. Thuram's been fouled. Free kick to Inter. That might just about be that.
Yeah, what's De Jong doing? He knows that Thuram's going to put his body there. Slightest bit of contact to go down. Brilliant forward play from Thuram. And that's it. Seconds away.
We've had the 2 minutes of added time. Acerbi is just going to hack the ball long, deep towards the corner flag. Taremi can't keep it in play. It's a goal kick. All eyes on the referee, Simon Marciniak. Inter are through to the Champions League final after winning a last four tie for the ages. One of the greatest knockout ties in the history of the Champions League, and for Inter Milan it is a vintage victory never to be forgotten. They edge out Barcelona 4-3 on the night. 7-6 on aggregate. Inter players in tears as the subs and staff stream onto the pitch. It is semi-final heartache for Lamine Yamal and Barcelona, but for Inter Milan, the great reward is a shot at the ultimate prize. They will be in Munich on the 31st of May after 2 epic legs of Champions League semi-final football. There was almost nothing to celebrate them, to separate them, but it's Inter fans who are singing in the rain. Thuram with an arm around the shoulder of Yamal, DiMarco with tears of joy, a big smile for Jan Sommer. What a night on Talksport of Champions League football. Inter are through to the final, their second final in 3 years, and of course after defeat to Manchester City in 2023 they will look to go one better. They looked like they had the tie sewn up at half-time in normal time through Martinez and Çalhanoglu's penalty. An amazing comeback from Barcelona. Garcia, Olmo and Rafinha thought he'd won it at the end of normal time, but for Acerbi's injury time equaliser. And then the substitute, Davide Fratesi, 9 minutes into extra time, with the goal that finally broke Barcelona hearts. Inter have done it, and even the San Siro has not seen many nights quite like this. Inter 4, Barcelona 3. Inter win it and go through to the final, 7-6 on aggregate.
Wow, Sports Bar is getting ready and they want your calls. 03717 223344. But spare a thought, please, for those who don't like football. I feel so sorry for them because it's the greatest game. And Scott Minto, that was one of the greatest games, one of the greatest two-legged ties we have ever witnessed. It was truly sensational.
Adrian, when you think about what we're talking about here, what we're commentating on, it's Champions League semi-final for the right to go to the final, to be 90 minutes away from being the champions of Europe and making yourself heroes. For one of these legs to be like this is one thing. For both of them, and for us to go into extra time and still not know what's going to happen as the pendulum swung one way then the other. I mean, listen, I said I needed an ice bath last week. I need a 24-hour ice bath after watching this. I can't think of a better tie with such importance on it where two legs have been like this. It's just been incredible.
Truly incredible. And at the end of the game, Lamine Yamal, 17 years old, just collapsed on the floor, lying on his back. I don't think he could believe what had gone on. I don't think he believed that Barcelona were out after everything they put in to that tie. But it's Inter Milan who go through to the final in Munich at the end of May. And if you go back to the end of the 90 minutes, just before Acerbi's equaliser, Yamal's hit the post. And that would have sealed it. Even after Inter made it 3-3, Yamal was clean through but couldn't find the net. And then the Inter keeper, Jan Sommer, the hero, Lamine Yamal, had one saved at the end of the 90, then one miraculously saved towards the end of extra time for Yamal. It was a cruel Sommer. I mean, that save is as good as Fratesi's goal.
100%. And we don't see it enough, whether it's defensive blocks that stop a goal, because on the score sheet it doesn't seem to make, well, it doesn't make a difference. But that save, in fact, two saves he made, he had absolutely no right to make either of those saves. And Lamine Yamal, I mean, look, I don't go overboard on players. I just have complete appreciation of these players who were able to do things that we all, whether you've been a player, professional player or non-professional, would only dream of doing. It's almost like the sort of, an under-15 player playing against the under-10s. And yet he's the youngster. He's the youngster who was 16, now 17, 100 games for Barcelona, the amount of goal contributions that you talked about. Well, Lionel Messi's only just starting his career 20 years ago at the same age. Just nothing short of sensational. And yet, you're right, really unlucky with the save. That's a brilliant save. He will think to himself right on the end of 90 minutes, what if? And if only. If I was able to just pass that to the side of Sommer, then he would have been yet again the match winner. But it wasn't to be. And in the end, we're celebrating. There's only Barcelona fans who are not celebrating what we've witnessed over these two ties.
Oh, it's total appreciation for Inter Milan, who are in the final. I mean, they've beaten a very, very good side over 2 legs. That was sensational from Barcelona, which means it was something extra sensational from Inter Milan. And even Robert Lewandowski, if he'd been fit and playing week in, week out, he's only just come back from injury. And that header, he turned into Darwin Nunez. I mean, he's kind of headed it before the ball's there, which means it's a Ten-Bob head, it's a Toblerone head, and he can't get it on goal. It was so un-Lewandowski-like, but it's because he's not been playing.
A 50 pence piece head. And only you can get Darwin Nunez into this particular time. Honestly. You're a bad kid, you.
I'll do my best. Listen, you've got something else to do. Time now to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whether you're on holiday, at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that's just right for you.
And I know it's not going to be Lamine Yamal. Well, I'm thinking it's not going to be him. It could be any number of players. So who is it, Scott Minto?
Don't ask me. I don't want to. Honestly, this is the most difficult one I've ever had to do. I mean, I'm going to throw all the names in the air. No, do you know what? And I thought Joe summed it up perfectly. He conceded 3 goals, had to pick the ball out of his net, and yet Jan Sommer's 2 unbelievable saves, I think, were the difference in the end. As much as you can say one person made the difference. So I'm going to give it to Jan Sommer.
Yep, at the end of it all, there will be some summer loving from the Inter Milan fans. That was our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.